Alrighty, kids, good evening. Hope you guys are on wonderful Wednesdays. Tonight, guys, are going to be doing more Helldivers 2. On late here, unfortunately, and unintentionally. Later than normal, too. Good evening, Unlocking, Odie. Hi, guys. Hope you guys are a wonderful evening so far. Covered the Helldivers 2 patch notes yesterday. Not really a whole lot of, I mean, there's a shitload of bug fixes in there, but yeah, I think people were expecting a lot more, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that they basically it was a month and a half since the last patch, right? 2 months since the last patch. As was I, to a certain extent. That's also, once again, because they had their vacation, which apparently actually was a vacation. They weren't just there secretly working, they're actually just on vacation, as it turns out. Yeah. Well, that'll happen. Yeah, I think a lot of people were expecting a lot more content than what popped out. And then what was actually there, like the, basically Warhammer was legit just, or not Warhammer, the Reddits were basically just all full of people just complaining about the nerfs. That was it. It's just everyone complaining. Everyone's fucking complaining. Mics? What about mics? Micanites? What? Are you memeing? I don't get the meme. Yeah. As it goes, guys. That'll happen. They didn't consult their lead creative director before they pulled the plug on the Incendiary breaker, and we could have devised other ways to actually deal with that and not had so much fallout, which I don't even think it needed to be nerfed, because from my experience using it, it really doesn't seem like it was that powerful. I'm getting kind of ahead of myself here. I gotta get my coffee so we can get into things here, which we're gonna address here in a second. I did mention that because of the prevalence of it, the prevalence of the Incendiary breaker, that they should consider turning it off just so people try something else. Not even nerf it. It didn't really need nerfs. Just people needed kind of a push to try other things in the game, and well, they got it now. As it turns out, they got it now. But everyone's just screeching about the Incendiary breaker. Oh, we didn't even cover all of Reddit yesterday because everyone's just screeching about it. Like, the thread was just full of threads of people just screeching. Yeah, and to a lesser extent, the flamethrower damage as well. Or the flamethrower nerf where you can't shoot the leg armor anymore. Shoot the leg in the front. You have to actually go around the backside. Hump day. Wednesday? Yeah. Yes, good. I do like, kind of on a segue here, guys. I do like that people are noticing in the Olympics that people from kind of on topic, off topic, people from Norway and Sweden tend to be very beautiful. Occasionally you run into these threads, like I ran into one earlier today, where like, why is everyone from Norway so beautiful? And you're like, Vikings? Like, hey, do you know what the Vikings did? Yeah, they aped and pillaged and stole and ruled the 7 seas, and they took wives, and the wives are obviously quite beautiful. That's why they took them, right? Yeah, it's just like all the good genetics got funneled into basically one spot, and that's why you have what it is today. As it turns out, Vikings just need to word it as Vikings, and they got their wives, right? Yeah, but Jesus, crazy stuff. You can stim with full health now in HD2. Did they even mention that in the patch notes? I remember reading they made a poll like a month ago for that, and people obviously answered yes. I've been asking for that since the game launched. It wasn't just because you need to get energy back, but also because sometimes you get hurt and you can't, like, you're not actually damaged, which occasionally happens. It's a really weird thing. So you have to damage yourself to actually get, so you can use the stim. I didn't see in the patch notes. Curious. Why does everyone from Norway and Sweden tend to look good? Scandinavian people? Vikings. Yeah, Vikings. Do you know what the Vikings did? Do you know what the Vikings did? Oh no. Let's see here. Yeah, I can, like yesterday, there's just like everyone's just complaining. There's no way to. It's just a Oh, I was supposed to get my coffee, wasn't I? It was. Oh, the graphics preset for the Steam Deck. I remember reading this one, and we even commented on this one yesterday, and I said, how many people even use the Steam Deck? There's a lot of people that pretend that they use their Steam Deck, but in actuality it just sits on the shelf and they take it out when their friends are over to show them how cool it is. Other than that, it's, no one uses the Steam Deck. I legit commented on this, and apparently I skipped over the Stim one. Well, the Stim is in the game now. I'm sure a lot of other people asked for it. I asked for it at the beginning of the game when I got, like, I think my chest burst, and then I couldn't stim because I was at full HP. It was one of the weird things. I think it was a collision damage from taking fall damage. So it might have been a bug or something. But, like, one of my limbs or something was broken. Occasionally it happens still, and you're at full HP. And basically you have to hurt yourself so you can use a stim. But I guess it's fixed now, so. No, I didn't see that. You can run in normal speed during storms with the shield generator. I read the shield comment, but I thought that was the shield relay, not the shield pack. Well, actually, which one are you talking about? I saw that one. I was pretty sure it was a shield relay. Shield generator relay. Oh, that's not it. That's a bug fix. Fix the shield. The ballistic shield not killing you? Oh, it does both. Oh, that's good. I mean, it makes sense if the shield pack actually has anti-CC built into it anyways. That being said, the shield pack is actually just really, really fucking OP. One of the very few things in the game that actually needs to be nerfed, and that's purely because it's not because people use it, but rather because it's so good. People just don't use it because they don't need to use it, because as it turns out, the game's pretty easy now. So, yeah. But I guess, I mean, it does match up with its current effects, which is its anti-CC capabilities. I need to get my coffee. Get my coffee, guys, so then we can get into things here. I do want to talk a little bit about the Incendiary Breaker and the fallout regarding it and possible solutions to it, which we talked about last night, but I didn't have enough time to go more in depth on that. Your back, guys. Right. So, we touched on this, also talked about this. I didn't see the shield pack in regard to it, though. Do these meet the BetterDivers standards? Some of the things are in here. We aren't going over all the patch notes again. That was yesterday. There's a video on YouTube if you're curious about it. You can find it on the channel. It's a highlight on the channel, so it's pretty easy to find. We aren't going over all the patch notes again tonight. We did that yesterday already, though. Let's see. But yeah, we talked about the shield relay. I thought it was only a shield relay as opposed to the shield generator pack, but it makes sense regarding that, too. But let's first see. Maybe learn to read before white knighting. I'm white knighting Arrowhead by talking about the fact that there isn't actually... There's a fucking hater. We got someone hating on me purely because of my spreadsheet. Fucking hilarious. Yeah, so it is misleading. This comment in specific is misleading, and these guys are trying to pretend and walk it back like he isn't misleading people. Trying to word it in a way where it makes it just seem like he can't change his rating is the only reason he's getting upvoted right now. That's not true. Guy is just being a jack off. Yeah, so they're trying to pretend that the only thing that he's trying to infer was the fact that he can't change his review, when in fact he's actually also inferring he can't play the game. That's why it's very loosely worded, but he can actually still play the game. And there's other comments that are also replying to him that are acting as if he can't play the game. That's the rhetoric. That's the narrative. Okay, but that's a big one. There's a lot of people that are very pissy. Is this on Reddit? It's what? On Reddit. Oh my god, Danny went from TikTok to YouTube. Oh my god, crazy. If you're talking about my patch note guide, or my patch note review, it's on YouTube. Highlight. Bad block. No one cares about you. People subscribe to you. Ad block has turned into an ad. Oh my god. Oh, there's also fucking the 9000 series first benchmarks are out today too. We don't have time to cover that. As mentioned, we are going to cover that, but not tonight. Let's see. Helldivers 2. Relation of freedom. Maybe if I change it, the title to include Escalation of Freedom. that real quick here. Yeah. Not enough space. I wish there was like a subtitle. Put in the title. Done. Changed. Check. Good. Excited about the war bond? Well, it should be different. I think the only thing, like, I'm not really someone that gets excited about stuff anymore, so you can't gauge my hype as an indicator of how, how interesting something is. I have really tapered expectations nowadays. It happens, guys, when you're disappointed enough in life, you grow, right? Or your soul just gets stomped on slowly but surely over time. But anyways, I think the only thing in the war bond that actually looks interesting for me personally is the pistol, the fire pistol. However, that might not actually be that interesting purely because of they nerfed not only the ability for you to use it on the charger legs, but also at the same time might still just like if that's gone. Well, actually, just that. If that's gone, then just you can maybe use it as a kite weapon, but possibly at the same time it might not make up for it. Like, my idea was originally with the pistols, basically run away and then shoot the fire at the ground and set the ground on fire while I'm running away and kite the bugs over the top of it, which might still work. But as people have pointed out in the threads, I believe one of the major bonuses to damage from the pistol, or from fire weapons, is for stratagems only, and the fire pistol would not be a stratagem. So that won't even see, possibly won't even see the light of day, purely because it's just... the handful of things it possibly could do are basically gone already or missing, so maybe not using that. Anyways, thing we're going to cover here, which we talked briefly about, is the amount of fallout on Reddit, mainly regarding the Incendiary breaker, where there's a lot of people just complaining about the Incendiary breaker getting nerfed, which it was nerfed, decent chunkish. I haven't used it yet, so it might still be fine, but you might also just run out of ammo. I'm not exactly sure how that works. I haven't actually tested or played around with it. Oh my god, Danny is literally moving to every single platform. You gotta get them all. Gotta catch them all, Danny. Try them all at least once? Yeah, I mean, it's a good way to look at things. I don't think I even used the SMG carbine, I guess it is, from the Viper Patriots, mainly because it just doesn't seem to really do anything well, so there's no point to use it for the most part. But anyways, as we talked about even before this, I reminisced. We talked a bit about the Incendiary breaker prior to this coming out, guys. Prior to this patch coming out where they nerfed it, we talked about the Incendiary breaker off and on over the last maybe 2 months, maybe month and a half, I would say. It's no secret that the Incendiary breaker is very common in games, and in Div 9, almost every single mission will have at least 2 people. The stats, they said, Shams, which we still aren't talking, I'm not talking to Shams, by the way. Shams said that it was 30% prevalence in all games, but that doesn't really tell you where it actually matters, and where it matters is basically where people know how to play the game, which is higher difficulty, so Div 9, Div 8, maybe Div 7. Stuff where people actually need to try to play the game is basically where difficulties, like what weapons people are using, actually really starts to matter. And I'm not suggesting, obviously you just don't throw out stats, but in a lot of cases, if you're actually looking at data to parse, like let's say you're looking for balancing changes, right? If you look at the most prevalent of things, and assumedly they have ways of parsing stuff, in the case of Helldivers, there really is not MMR, there's no SBMM, so there's no rating in which you can tell basically what skill level people are at, except for difficulty, because difficulty kind of infers MMR to a certain extent because people are going to be better playing at the difficulty. So we can, at the very least, we can look at difficulty in terms of a metric to break down skill level in the game itself. In the case of, like, let's say Overwatch, where you're talking about high-tier players and, like, GM or Masters or Top 500, right? You can break down skill and further, where, you know, things might work in lower tiers, it might work better in lower tiers, but that's purely because of the kind of players they're playing against. The experience in Helldivers 2, where, you know, you might actually be able to use LMGs in lower tiers because you aren't running into charges and Biotines, obviously changes in the higher tiers too. But that being said, like, the weapons aren't super bad, so it really doesn't really matter. In most games, however, I feel as though you should definitely just chop off, like, the bottom 60% of players. Like, the lower 60% of skill level really doesn't matter for the most part, as long as they aren't getting farmed. And, you know, assuming they can actually complete the missions, it really doesn't matter. And in the case of Helldivers 2, they can just ratchet up the difficulty when they feel confident with it, right? It is self-reported MMR, I guess is what we're going to go with that. And in the case of Helldivers 2, Diff 9 is, or Diff 10 now, is self-reported MMR, which is people are playing at that level because they feel as though they can play at that level, right? So immediately, if you are looking at stats for this game, which I don't think they did, well, besides they looked at stats, but like didn't parse them down completely, or maybe they did and they just didn't say anything. But based on what we're actually, let's see, maybe the quote's still here. That's Pilts, where people are like, oh, why aren't they making it easy? There we go. Shams. They got a PR fire from this one again. Shams, are you watching my stream? Are you watching my stream? Last night we talked about how they can't... Oh, is this Pilts? Oh, Shams. Shams, are you watching my stream, man? Are you watching my stream now? Oh. We actually just talked about yesterday. Well, let me put aside where we're going with things right now. We talked about yesterday on... not only that maybe the... there was a thread that popped up that said... Or people said that the... Shams said that the developers maybe aren't actually at the highest level, so to speak, or maybe they are. I don't. There's multiple different ways. Actually, I can just show you the quote. There's multiple different ways you can infer it, and people on Reddit were saying that the developers aren't playing really at the highest level. The stream had 1 to 2 devs, others were Sony folk, and let me tell you, the devs aren't anywhere near your average skill level, and then people went on to roast the devs and say that means they're lower than average skill level, but I'd honestly say that probably Reddit is around the skill level of the developers, which is probably maybe average-ish. I don't know. I don't know where we're going with things. But either way, in the case of... This is kind of a weird one, because we were talking about basically the Incendiary Breaker and the Flamethrower yesterday, and I said... Because they just nerfed the changes, it's very difficult for them just to walk things back right away without just appearing just like they just, you know, like, basically just your foot's in your mouth sort of shit, right? Oh, this is explanations. They did, on the Flamethrower, they made it so the... can't use it on legs anymore, and you have to basically shoot the pooper. And as with the autocannon, in the case of the autocannon, it becomes very difficult to shoot the pooper on multiple chargers when you're constantly getting charged. It's one of the downsides to the autocannon, which I feel as though it should be leveled off. The autocannon is extremely good against bots, but not that great against bugs. It's actually, not only is it not that great, it takes a lot of skill to use it against bugs too. So it's like this. Whereas though I feel it should be more like this. And the problem with the autocannon against bugs is it's very difficult to use against chargers and Biotines. And while you can shoot the pooper out on Biotines, it is next to impossible to do that in any high-tier missions because you'll just constantly get, like, small fry that just come out of nowhere and just try to fuck with you while you're trying to reload and shoot the pooper. Shooting the pooper is not a very... valid? It's not a strategy you can use. People will talk about it, but it's not something you can reliably use to kill Biotines. However, usually you should be able to use it to finish off a Biotine. So if you drop a 500 kg, just like you use a Quasar to finish off a Biotine, or whatever your explosive weapon is, after you drop the 500 kg and you do damage to the Biotine, there should be a way. The autocannon, you can do that. You can finish it off. It just takes a substantial amount of ammo to do it. Best places I've found so far to actually shoot it is the collar, right below the neck. Like right kind of neckline, collar, breast area. Because those shots will tend to register. You can see the flame out when they hit, which means they're doing damage. But even then, sometimes it won't register or properly or do the right amount of damage, and it takes forever to kill them. In the case of Bile Titans, or excuse me, the case of Chargers, when they're charging at you, you have to wait for them to turn around. So they charge through, and then you have to shoot them in the pooper, right? And if they turn around, unlike with the Quasar, EATs, Commando, Recoilless, right? You can shoot it in the face, or you can pop the armor plate if you want to, and shoot out the leg. You can't do that from the front with the autocannon. The autocannon is very, very difficult to use. When you have front-facing enemies, specifically with the Chargers, which are basically, threats from the front, when they run through, when they cross through you, if you have one Charger, you can, of course, wait for it to turn, get behind it and shoot in the pooper, right? When you have multiple Chargers, and they start staggering the charges, it becomes very difficult to do that and get shots in before it turns around. And when you get like 3 Chargers, it becomes next to impossible to do that with the autocannon. Flamethrower, as I imagine, without a stun grenade, is going to be in the same boat, which is once you get a lot of Chargers, it becomes very, very difficult to actually finish off a Charger with the Flamethrower. And Flamethrowers, I'd argue, weren't even that powerful. Even though they could kill Chargers, you still took up a backpack slot, and you could utilize it against, you couldn't really use it against, Bile Titans, so you still had to have stuff to take care of the Bile Titans at the end of the day, right? Even if you could kill the Chargers. So I didn't even consider it being that powerful, and it wasn't something that I thought might need nerfs. As we talked about yesterday, and as we talked about prior to even the patch, which is when they first talked about what is it, Flames of Liberty or whatever it is, the new Warbond. When they talked about the new Warbond, I mentioned with the Flamethrower that they're going to have problems dealing with the fact that you can shoot out the legs with the Flamethrower, right? So my guess is this is actually... My guess is this is a way of dealing with the fact that flamethrowers could potentially, which probably is a bug to be perfectly honest, was originally a bug where it could do damage to the inside of the charger leg. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a bug, and they basically fixed the bug, but in doing so, they made a weapon that was viable against chargers now no longer viable against chargers. You can still kind of do it, but that's like saying the autocannon is still viable on like the highest difficulties against bugs. When you have 3 chargers charging at you, you learn pretty fucking fast the autocannon is not like you got a lot to make up for, and you can make it work, and maybe you'll have to rely on your teammates, but the autocannon just like you have to shoot in the pooper, and that's not always available. You don't always get the pooper, guys. Even if you want the pooper, you don't always get the pooper. We suggested different ways that they can fix that. Freedom Flames, yeah. I suggested different ways they can fix that, including allowing the autocannon to have like an angle of attack where it could pop the leg pieces off the charger. Like in, let's say 3 shots, like if you get like within like a certain angle arc of like a frontal hit, instead of shearing off, it'll actually hit and do damage to the armor piece. And then you can pop the armor and then, traditionally shoot the charger normally. It would probably still take more work than using EATs and Recoilless, but it would still be manageable, and it represents a higher skill ceiling, right? It shows the ability to actually, go up. And this is actually in the BetterDivers guide where we talk about rebalancing the autocannon. Let's see. I mean, how does an arrowhead at this point know my guide by heart? I don't know. There's so much information here that's all really, really good, and for some reason they don't have it memorized, so... This is like late night reading for you shams. Oh, I'm not talking to shams anymore. I mean pilts. This is late night reading for you pilts. Where is it? Exactly what he wants to read before bed. I probably scrolled past it. Auto cannon. Look at that. 16. So, suggested different ways. It's basically what I just talked about right here, which is the problem with bots. It is, I don't know what, like, this is the really weird shit, guys, which is the Incendiary Breaker was meta against bugs. Meta as in just use rate. It's not meta as in you need it. It was meta as in use rate, just the pure number of people that were using it. And we're trying to hypothesize, or like, prior to the patch yesterday, and what we're the follow from it. Prior to this happening, we were talking about different ways that this actually came into being, where everyone's stuck in the Incendiary Breaker meta. It's so bad that people will go on Reddit or social media and say there's no other weapons they can use. And that's clearly not the case. It is clearly not the case. It's been roughly 3 mega patches now. I guess this wasn't a mega patch. 2 big balance patches. So the last 2 big balance patches. This one wasn't really a balance patch. 2 big balance patches ago, which is like 3 months ago, has been the time at which you've been able to use a lot of different weapons against bugs now. I personally use the Judicator, the Tenderizer, and the Plasma Grenade Launcher. But, Scorcher still works. There's a lot of stuff that actually works against bugs. But there's people that will still say the only thing they can use is an Incendiary Breaker. And it's really, really, really fucking weird. We were talking about this last night. It's really, really weird. And trying to figure out why exactly this has actually come to this head, in which you have, like, I personally end up in lobbies where there's actually just 3 people using Incendiary Breakers. Why? I don't fucking know. But there's 3 people using Incendiary Breakers. And I mentioned before, and I've still mentioned, it didn't occur to me last night, which is what I'm pretty sure is happening here. But I didn't know exactly why this happened, because I've used Incendiary Breaker. It's not that strong. It's alright if you paint with it, so you have to put the dot on multiple targets. If you don't paint with it, which a lot of people don't do, you have to, like, it's worse than a breaker. You like, if you're just using a DPS down 1 target, it's worse than the breaker. But people will seem to assume that it's better than the breaker or just everything else, to the point at which that's all they use. And like, we've been trying to figure this out, and like over the last couple weeks, when we're talking about with the Flames of Freedom, or basically when there's new nuggets coming out of Arrowhead, we're talking about the different, well, whenever the Incendiary Breaker comes up, talking about different ways that potentially could actually make it to so people were using something else. And I've suggested a couple different times that they disable it for a week and a half to 2 weeks. I've mentioned specifically that, because you're not nerfing the weapon, and it's not really something where it's permanent, but it gives people time to adjust and maybe see that there's other things out there. We talked about this last night. You can't lead you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But if it's drinking from this other pond, you have to basically drain the pond so that it goes to another pond, sort of ordeal, right? Because it will drink from a different trough if there's another trough, and the one it likes is empty, right? So playing around with metaphors a little bit, figuratively speaking. In this case, you have to make it so people actually want to do it. Is the nerfs to the Incendiary Breaker probably going to make people change? Maybe. I don't know how bad they are. But probably because people see their favorite weapon poo-pooed on, and they're like, oh, I can't use this anymore, right? And then they'll switch. Or maybe someone will say that it's bad now or whatever. But with Incendiary Breaker, it was like, it's always been one of these really weird things where it feels like there's some mega streamer or influencer that put it in like triple S tier plus balance, when it's not really. And like last night, when we were reading through the threads and the comments on it, people were talking about the kill streaks they're getting with Incendiary Breaker, as basically using it as purely as a metric for how good the weapon is. And I talked about how this is a fallacious stat. There's a lot of reasons stats matter in games. And I talked about how this being a fallacious stat, because if you go, I don't know whether or not the kill streak is based on the last hit, so you killing blow, or it's based on an assist, so you just hit the unit, you tag the unit, and you get credit for it, right? So either one of those things would infer, they would give you false information, because you assume you're doing all the damage because you're seeing stuff die. If there's people throwing in orbitals or anything else that damages it, a dot will oftentimes kill a unit, and you'll get an assist or a killing blow for it, because it's damage over time that's ticking, right? And that means if there's a sliver of life left, it'll be able to finish it off. People were talking about when the bug holes open. One guy in particular mentioned when the bug hole opens, he just shot an entire wave of it. And if I'm at diff 9, he shot an entire wave over the top of it of fire, and you get like 25 to 30 kill streak on it. And I was like, what the fuck are you even talking about? There's no way that's true. Unless they're like little beetles. Like, I don't think, like, he said like one pellet. They said like one pellet would just kill like one unit. And I don't think that's true at all. Maybe beetles, but I don't think even one pellet kills a hunter. Where you catch it with one pellet and it kills it. I don't think fire damage is that strong, because I've played plenty solo. I mean, to an extreme extent, I literally tell people to fuck off when they're following me around, right? I've played solo Helldivers a lot, well, and with 4 people, kind of solo. I lone wolf in diff 9 a lot, right? And I definitely know when I'm the one killing stuff, because I can tell how long it takes to die. A lot of people are not very good at keeping track of stats, either observationally or even like parsing stats when they're shown to them. So if you see kills at the end of the game, I still don't know whether or not kills at the end of the game are killing blows or an assist, and it's very difficult to tell. Once again, because Arrowhead doesn't really tell us, and I haven't went on my way to test it. You have to basically test it with another person, where they tap it, and then you finish it off, and you see who kills the most units, but the kill streak doesn't even show up until you have a certain number of units killed, so it makes it even more difficult to actually figure out what exactly is going on, right? Let's see. Better for mobs, that's untrue. So, once again, I think a lot of people are actually misconstruing that they're getting a kill streak with the fact that they're doing damage. And what we're going to talk about here in a little bit, and I said this is a thing that's a long time coming, which is talking about specifically the way the game shows you stats at the end of the game. Which is, if all it is showing is your kills, there's only a handful of stats that even matter on the kill, like the details page at the end. Like, most of them are just random things. They don't actually tell you what you need to know about the game. Two things that really, really matter is, as they do with most games, is your damage done, your overall damage done, and even breaking it down further by primary damage. So, damage done would include everything else in the game, such as stratagems, grenades, whatever, but primaries would be particularly your primary weapon. It would give you a great idea of exactly how much damage you're actually doing in the game. And we talked about this yesterday on whether or not it's actually true that the stats that you're seeing, or not the stats that you're seeing, yeah, I don't know. Like, total damage done and then damage by your primary, for instance, actually matters a lot in your ability to figure out what exactly you're doing and whether or not it works or not. If it is based purely, the only number that you have for, like, your performance is your total number of kills at the end and that little kill streak down in the bottom center. If people see the kill streak popping up, they're going to think that they're the ones doing all the damage. It is like a false misinformation. It's almost misinformation, but not really. The game, like I said, does not actually show you it doesn't tell you whether or not you're, like, that's killing blow or that's assists. So you have to kind of weigh and gauge whether or not that even matters. I've used Incendiary Breaker a lot, and it's one of these things where it like, you can paint with it and you do more damage, above average damage compared to other weapons, but you have to multitask with it. You have to basically shoot a bunch of mobs at the same time with it and then go back to like whatever one you're winging on. And allows the damage, just like you're playing a Warlock in a different game, allows the time for the dots to tick and for you to actually do more damage. But I think a lot of people were actually mistaking the kill streak indicator for them personally doing all the damage with Incendiary Breaker, which I feel is actually completely wrong. Which is one of the reasons I don't even use it. Let's see. So what we're going to do, and why this really matters, is it allows people to figure out when they're actually performing. They're performing well or performing poorly. See here. Yesterday. Oh. Okay. They've never changed this, so the stats that people have to view how they're performing in the game can actually mislead them into thinking that they're doing better than they currently are. For instance, right now, stuff that even the only thing that really matters is that's available to us right now is your kills. Well, accuracy is nice to see. This really doesn't even matter in terms of what you're doing in the game. Same thing with shots fired, shots hits. This all doesn't matter. Deaths matters because this tells you how many reinforcements you're using. Stims doesn't really matter. I mean, you could have a subcategory here where you can throw all this stuff in it, but in terms of stuff that doesn't even matter, there's a lot of it. Samples extracted, I'd even say samples gathered is more important than extracted, purely because if you don't gather it in the first place, it's just whoever, picks it up and leaves with it doesn't really even matter. It's who picks it up in the first place because it shows they're actually gathering stats. They're gathering samples. We talked about this before. Well, extract the samples obviously matters because you're leaving with them, right? But it doesn't in terms of actually like seeing who's doing work. You can't figure out who's doing work. They could have just picked up samples off the pad. They could have picked up samples off a dead body. It doesn't tell you who exactly is doing work. Stratagems used. That's another stat that's kind of cool to see. Melee kills doesn't even fucking matter. Another stat that just sits at 0 basically the entire game. Times reinforcing. just calling in friends. There's friendly damage. Accidentals, I believe, is actually killing people, and friendly damage is actually the amount of damage you do to people, which has also been an erroneous stat for a long time. But accidentals being basically just team shots, killing people. It does matter. And then there's distance travel at the bottom. Let's see. It's not even misinformation, because the stats are right. But what the stats tell them is wrong. Misinterpretation. Those. Yeah. Uh... Evening, Jim. Yeah, so what we're talking about right now is, by the way, this is the reason we're, like, I'm trying to interweave actually talking to you guys while doing this, but obviously you can read it along while I'm doing it. One of the problems I think we're having currently with Incendiary and stuff in the game is people don't know exactly how to parse it, and they're not good at keeping track of things on their own. I mean, that's the game's, like, in most games have stats, right? Most games will actually give you the ability to figure out exactly what's going on in the game so you can better yourself, or figure out who's holding the group back, right? Damage meters. Stuff like that matters so you can actually better figure out what's going on in the group and what you personally are doing, or what your teammates are doing that are helping out or hindering things that are going on right now. A delegated. Damage total. By the way, this is something we talked about as early as when the game first came out, how janky looking the end game screen was. It doesn't really, a lot of these don't tell you anything that's happening in the game, right? And we're going to change that. We're trying to change that. With Joel's approval, and Shams when he stops turning his nose at me, you know, maybe we'll get something that will be meaning, so then people can figure out whether or not their Incendiary Breaker is actually doing damage or not. Because they seem to think the kill streak is purely an indicator of doing damage, when it's not. depending on what's going on. So the question is whether or not you want to actually have a percentage of kills that are primary kills, right? Percentage of your kills that are from primary. Actually, I think that'd be a pretty good stat. So obviously total kills matters, total damage matters, which would be all your damage, right? Including your stratagems, everything you're doing work with. Primary damage matters because you'll use your primary and you want to figure out whether or not you're being effective with it, or it's something kind of weird or unique or quirky that you're doing with your weapon. It might be some sort of specialty weapon, right? And your damage numbers are not going to show up in the same way. CC effects, for instance, won't actually show that you're doing the right amount of damage, you know, at the right amount, at the right time, right? So CC won't show up there even though it's doing work, such as with the Tickler or Blitzer. The Blitzer or the Pummeler or the concussive rifle, a specialty thing like that. Most games won't actually include some sort of hard CC effects or a way to parse CC effects, mainly because it's a very broad category, and it doesn't tell you even what's going on when it's happened. So most games won't even include CC effects when basically the game's over, right? No, they can figure it out. There's with stats, guys. If you ever have been part of video game communities, MOBAs, first-person shooters, RTSs, there's always people that will talk about misconstruing stats and a number not meaning what you think it could be. Stats can always be misconstrued. They always can be torn apart and be used as leverage to mean like something else, even when it doesn't mean you're doing stuff, right? And it's important to offer multiple different stats so you can look at things from multiple different angles and figure out exactly what's going on in terms of the picture. As we talked about with Shams when he mentioned 30% of the player base using the Incendiary Breaker, I'd argue, as we did earlier, that the majority of players don't even matter. What matters is mainly people playing at diff 7 through 9, and maybe even diff 9, depending on how big the data set is for that compared to diff 7 through 9, because diff 9 or diff 10 now is where the more in the meat and where stuff really starts mattering as far as what you're doing with weapons. And up till that point, you can use the railgun. You can use the railgun against bots and talk about how amazing it is on Reddit, when in fact you've only really used it on diff 6 against that one Hulk that you saw the entire mission, right? So, like, you need to be able to parse and break down the stats to the point where you have meaningful data that tells you what you want to know about what's going on around you. And as for my personal data, I don't feel as though 30% that's way low. From my personal data, there was like a week after, I think there's like a week after the new Warbond came out where it seemed like there's like the last Warbond, not the current one. Well, the current one's not out yet. The Viper Warbond, like a week after the Viper Warbond, in which people were using just random shit, and then we went back to Incendiary Breakers. I would say in my games against bugs, it's 2 to 3 people in the match that are using Incendiary Breakers. I don't ever, basically don't ever use it, but I'm a weirdo. I'm a random data point. I'm an outlier. I'm not something you can depend on, so you can't even say, 3 people of the match is the maximum, because I'm always a data point that's going to be 0, right? Because I don't use it. And that's just the way I am, because I find using one weapon boring. Most people are not that way. Most people are meta slaves where they do something where someone tells them something and they think something's doing well when in fact it's not, which is what we're trying to parse right now and break down and give more opportunity for allowing people to figure out whether or not they're dead weight or not, or what they're doing actually matters, right? Or, blame game too is going to be, obviously one of the downsides here is going to be blame gaming, but you can't really just, having a game where you actually have to try means that there's going to be some cases where people aren't trying hard enough or they aren't good enough. It's just the way it is. You can't Care Bear everyone. And in a game like this, which is already called Helldivers, a mature rated game called Helldivers, I think we can handle a little bit of people coming down to reality in terms of what they're actually doing in the match, right? I don't think that's actually that far-fetched, including occasional, instances where people get blame gamed. It's just, they can just leave, join a different mission. There's a lot of things you can do to deal with people that are being toxic. Whatever. That still means this matters. It still matters. But damage done isn't going to include things like armor pen, which also matters. You could do a lot of damage, but then you can't kill the stuff that matters. But I'm definitely already going to add a category for different sized units. So you could actually break it down further. When are you going to play later tonight, Lid? We're in the podcast right now, and we're on late, so probably going to be later than that. But this needs to be, we need to iron this out because it's becoming apparent that this is an issue for a lot of people. To even say, so how would you, if we were going to talk about ways to parse a kill, right? A kill can be killing blow, which means you got the last hit on it to finish it off. A kill can be an assist, which means you just contributed to damage on it. Or a kill could be a weighted metric where you get a kill if you do 90% of the damage. I forgot which game had it, but there's one game in which you'd have to contribute a certain amount, a certain percentage of damage to the unit in order for you to get a kill. Most modern games now use what they call limbs, which is basically assists, which is if you touch the unit, touch the player, you touch the unit, you get an assist for it. They call them a limbs now, though, right? It's not a killing blow. In the case of Overwatch, they only have a limbs. However, in a game like Marvel Rivals, which just came out, they added to that because they figured out that is actually just a bad metric. There's still limbs, but then there's also killing blows, because killing blows in a case of a PvP, which isn't directly comparable, killing blows in the case of a PvP game does still matter. Even if you're not doing the majority of the damage, you get the last hit. That does matter. Where does it particularly matter is if you have a flanker. Flankers oftentimes will not score that many limbs, and they won't get that much damage because they're essentially assassins. Flankers go around the back and try to finish off and kill units. They're very important, but the game doesn't always tell you, or you don't always know that they're operating, and one of the ways that you can figure out what they're doing is through killing blows, right? Because it'll tell you basically the unit that they more or less soloed, and it's not going to be exactly the same thing, but if you have a flanker who you recognize as a flanker, you can be almost guaranteed that the killing blows that they have are personal kills, like they just 1v1 someone. So, in the case of some games, killing blows really, 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 really matters, right? But in the case of this, I say killing blows don't even matter. What matters is maybe assists, and then furthermore, only if you did maybe the certain amount of damage to the unit, you'll get the assist or the limb. Which... What kind of threshold would you put that at? Like 20%? 30% of the unit health? Which I don't know even if the game can calculate it, by the way. Their engine's old and ancient and seems to shit itself continuously, so it might not even be able to do this without just crapping all over the game, right? It could actually be that the stat tracking is one of the things they don't do because they don't want to, cause issues, which is kind of hilarious nowadays, but I don't know if that's true or not, but it's a definite possibility, is the engine doesn't track stats well at all, which also could be why our friendly fire damage is just so random, because it doesn't actually seem like it does damage. And also it feels as though the friendly fire damage stat is maybe, if it includes damage where you're dead already. So if you take a Hellbound worth of damage, which I don't know how much damage it does, but it exceeds your health, and then the game calculates the amount of damage you're taking, which includes exceeding your health, which you're dead already, it doesn't matter, right? But the game doesn't actually clip the stat. It doesn't actually go, oh, you took full damage and you're dead now. Rather, it just, gives you a larger number, right? So you drop a Hellbomb in the middle of your teammates, and it gives like 5,000, friendly fire damage. It doesn't really tell you much of anything, right? Because you killed like 3 of your teammates, but it only happened once, which still sucks. But at the same time, it's not really a meaningful metric. That's the whole reason accidentals being in the game is actually important, because it shows that you actually killed teammates, right? Killing blow on teammate is what finishes them off, more or less. We need to break it down that much, or does it actually just need to be kills? Like, killing blows in a game like this might actually just be useful enough where you don't actually need assists at all. Now, let's just go with killing blows. I think that's actually good enough for this game. Walker be considered a medium-sized unit? I'd say so. Anything above the basic level of units. Ships. Shrikes. Chargers, I think, should be considered a boss, a mini unit, a mini boss. What are the aardvarks called? Impaler. Hooks. Factory Strider. Yeah, I don't know. So like that's what I was thinking about. Like obviously there's going to be wiggle. I agree. There's going to be wiggle space here, right? So they don't take much effort to kill. But have you ever seen people ignore them and like they literally start farming your team? Because I have, even though they're easy to kill, right? So Shrikes, even though they're relatively easy to kill, there are legit people that just want to ignore them, and that actually leads to scenarios where they fuck your team up, right? And yeah, like I'd agree. I'd agree that's actually a very very easy unit to kill, right? But it's also a unit that can potentially be potent if no one fucking shoots them. Obviously, depending on the map you're on, if there's Shrikes or not, are going to be an indicator whether or not it's. Even add that. Large unit kills, medium kills, kills in general. You know, like there's shitloads of small units, hunters, beetles, the little grasshopper fucks, right? Where they just don't. Even I see like the little brown guys, and not. I was thinking like Hive Guard maybe, but Hive Guard is also kind of easy. The big heads or the Hive Commander, I think is actually a pretty meaty unit, so killing those should actually matter, right? But then like the little brown guys that they spawn, which I don't even know the name of them, those are pretty basic units, even though they're meteor, right? Yeah. No, hunters wouldn't be medium units if you're inferring that. Hunters would be basic units. Warriors, I guess, yeah, the little ones that pop up when the Hive Commander goes wee, and then the two of them pop out of the ground, right? Which actually adds a lot of meat. If you get like four Hive Commanders and they just walk at you and they all summon those two guys, you end up with like 12 units and they're all really tanky. Well, not really tanky, they just take a lot of ammo to go through, right? You just end up wasting a lot. I think they're warriors. Like even to that, you know, like if you say hunters, right? Hunters, if you get the alpha hunters, if you get alpha hunters, they can actually be really dangerous, but there's no way to really differentiate. And at a certain point, you're gonna end up parsing too many stats, and like the kiss, you got to keep it simple, stupid, right? You'll parse too many stats, and you'll actually kind of muddle what people need to look at and what really matters to them. So you have to give them kind of a breakdown, but at the same time, it being something that you know is meaningful, right? Large kills definitely matter, and it's something the game should have included from the beginning. When people actually, basically, you participate in a boss battle, it should really, really, really matter. It really, really matters, but they're just thrown in with the kills. So, medium kills, large kills. What do we have? Large kills, just making sure we get everything. Factory Striders, cannon towers. The cannon towers aren't a boss. Dagus. I guess the MLRS would probably be. I don't know how difficult they'd take out yet, because I haven't played against them. MLRS is the new missile truck thing. Probably easy to deal with when you get near them. Hulk's Factory Strider. Shield Devastators are difficult, but I wouldn't consider them a large kill. So damage dealing stats, then we want objectives. Objectives attended. I forgot to date it. Fuck. Elected. A lot of these things we discussed months ago, but never took time to put into. I didn't really think it actually mattered, but it feels as though we're reaching a time, guys, right now where like it does matter. A lot of these do matter, so people can parse their performance in the game, so they can figure out whether or not what they're doing works, or whether or not even matters, and then figure out how much or how little it does matter, right? Feels bad when I have kit for killing heavy units and your kill count gets tanked because of it? Yeah. Not specifically just that. Killing heavy units matters a lot. That matters a lot. Killing heavy and I'd say medium units also matters, although to a lesser extent, that's why there's a separate category for it, because it's not quite the same thing as killing fodder, right? But killing heavy units participating in the boss battles matters a lot. And that's more of a participation thing, because sometimes it takes multiple players to kill the unit, right? And that's fine. But medium units, just being killing blows also matters a lot, because that's a lot of chaff that you have to chomp through and deal with, right? And also matters a lot. And it's not going to show up at the end. So you have someone... I legit have some games where I've killed like fucking 12 Bile Titans in the past, and it just doesn't show up in your kill feed at all. Like at the end of the game, you look at it and people go, ha! Oh, well, you didn't get any kills because you're not around bug holes and farming them the entire game, right? It doesn't take much to literally throw stratagems on top of bug holes, and that's not really... I mean, it is useful because you're suppressing them, but at the same time, it's also... You know, there's sometimes work that needs to be done in other places other than just pushing a couple buttons and getting stats for it, right? Scoring for it. And by the way, with a lot of these, we can figure out metrics for performance indicators that you can then use for MMR. Yay! MMR, guys! Yay! Yay! MMR in a PvE game! Oh, that's so great! I know, it's such a controversial idea, right? But you could also use a weighted metric to figure out basically on how well people are performing, right? By the way, distance traveled actually does matter. We talked about like the two stats that actually matter. Right now in the game is basically killing blows, which are kills, essentially kills, and also distance travel, because distance travel usually is an indicator of how many objectives you've went to, or basically how far across the map you've ran, and different things you've done, right? So. Selected. Oh, mission time. It's not really a performance indicator, but it is an indicator so you can figure out, like, essentially per minute as a stat matters as well, and you can't figure that out, but you can if you have mission time. So if someone joins late, that actually matters, right? You mean POIs? I don't think so. Nests are also something, right? POIs, no. Nests and fabricators, I would. So you get a point for doing like a small nest, large nest, medium nest, right? If you go there. Outposts are nests. As in nests and fab bases. I would include those. I'd also include map objectives such as the radar dish, Seif. Even though you're not fighting, it still matters, right? Radar dish, Seif, the capsule, the radar station, not radar station, the research station, broadcast tower. Basically everything, not just the primary objective, mind you. I want to consider POIs objectives. Well, actually, it's basically everything except for POIs. So everything except for the little areas you go to collect samples and kill a couple units, right? Pop a case open or whatever there, the escape pods. Got to make sure you weed out the POIs are probably the only thing that really is kind of that I wouldn't consider really matters to the outcome of the game is POIs. They're just kind of something you can kind of do. But everything else, nests, fabricators, small, medium, large, they all matter because you eventually have to go to a point on the map to do them, right? That does matter. and helps for the completion of the entire map. Even though we aren't going to weight this, you can get more complicated, right? Like we could weight the objectives based on their importance, and you could score people based on whether or not they attended objectives that matter, or highly contested objectives, right? Yeah, if we wanted to. UI is basically turning into samples collected, more or less, yeah, exactly. Or like super credits or requisition or stuff like that, right? Oh, there's some meta stats that I'm missing right here, like mission time. There's some meta stats that matter. But because I'm mainly thinking of performance indicators right now. But meta stats also matter for parsing data that you're looking at, right? The only one that you can't see right now, by the way, is distance traveled. Deaths do matter because it tells you how many reinforcements people are consuming, but a lot of people, guys, like just showing you kind of how people misconstrue stats, right? So we're talking about whether or not people use the kill streak from the Incendiary Breaker to indicate whether or not the gun does a lot of work, when in fact they could actually just be kill stealing, more or less, where they get the last hit, right? And then it pops the kill feed, and then they think all of a sudden they're doing a lot of work, when in fact, it doesn't tell them the percentage of the damage that they're actually doing, right? It just tells them that they're killing stuff, or getting killing blows for it. But anyways, work does matter, and the game doesn't really tell you how much work you do. In some games, though, as I mentioned, people will overemphasize deaths as a meaningful indicator of you doing stuff. Like in Overwatch, for instance, people will look at purely at deaths and not at like damage done or healing done, which arguably matters. The rare case being in a case like a game like Overwatch, deaths do matter for tanks because they cannot express control over an area when they're dead, right? So time dead will actually matter because it allows the enemy team to push, assuming they're doing their job. But in the case of healers and damage dealers, the damage that you do, killing blows, limbs matters a lot more, or assists matters a lot more than your deaths. If you can get back in time to actually not have your stats harmed, that's actually more meaningful. But people will always just look at deaths and go, oh, the most deaths is who's doing the worst, right? When it's not true. People oftentimes short circuit, just like with the Incendiary Breaker, they short circuit to one number. And they'll look at that one number, and they want that one number to mean everything, because it's easier. It's easier looking at one number and going, oh, this means everything, than it is to look at all the numbers and go, wow, this is, like this, you can figure it out. People that are smart can actually figure out what's going on in the game, right? I think we got most everything. What we're going to probably find out here is there's other stats that I'm not thinking of right now that are actually meaningful, but you can only figure them out kind of like when you're playing, and you're like, oh, that'd be a nice stat, right? I think we got most everything here, though. And then obviously there's some indicators that'd still be important down here. Probably should note those. Let's see. Kills already have. Deaths. Accidentals, which are team kills. You notice almost all the stats basically are kind of just worthless, right? Just don't matter. Distance traveled. Times reinforcing is just, I think, how often you threw the ball, which... If you're trying to figure out how well someone's doing, it doesn't matter what their accuracy is or how many shots they fired. That depends purely on, and the shots hit is basically an indicator. You can figure out your accuracy based on those two indicators, right? Of what kind of weapon you're using, and it doesn't really matter. Oh, well, even to yourself, it really doesn't even matter. Some people really like that stuff. Let's see. We might not even have time to cover Reddit tonight, guys. This is another long one, by the way. Just the way it goes. But we had to do this because of what's going on right now in the game. And one of the reasons I think people think that they're doing a lot worse or a lot better than they actually are is because they don't have stats to tell them otherwise. Or people to look at the stats and go, no, you're wrong. Number of supply packs eaten. Stims used, you mean? Oh, resupplies. I mean, that would actually be... So, I kind of, like, I put expanded stats as kind of a screen that, there's actually cool things you could put in expanded stats that would actually be kind of cool just to look at, like resupplies. Would actually be a good one. I'd agree with that. Ammo kits would be an indicator of how good you are at foraging, by the way. Which also does matter because you're putting less strain on your team. So resupplies or not having to use a resupply actually helps your team out, right? So it's like a null stat. It's something that doesn't tell you exactly what it does right away, which means you don't need to call in a resupply, which takes stress off the resupply as a shared resource, right? Yeah. Think of a third one to round it off. Council's activated. That might even be a primary stat. You push the button and make the thing go spur, then that's actually important. There's actually cases where people will stand around objectives and not do them. Although getting to push the button doesn't mean you're actually doing the most work. There are plenty of cases where people stand around objectives, think people are doing work, but they aren't. It further to break down the kills based on whether or not they're by objectives when they're happening too, right? Yeah, I mean, that's one of my small buffs was that they need to increase the grenade pistol. The ammo you get from ground loot, because you just fucking hoover them all up, right? You suck up all the loot, and the resupply pods too. That needed to change. I don't know why they nerfed the ammo count on it. The grenade pistol, I use it a lot, so I'm biased, but the grenade pistol is a utility item. It's not really a damage dealing item. You use it to close bug holes and it wasn't really in a place, or fabricators, it's not really in a place where you're using it purely to create a bunch of damage. So it wasn't really something where they needed to nerf it, but I guess someone over there is feeling as though they need to remove us. They can't just buff it or some reason. I don't know why. Because it's like, when you go and pick up ammo anyways, your primaries and most of your weapons get topped off, right? So it's not like it's something overly special compared to, like, let's say a backpack item, which you already get loot for, and backpack items can be more powerful, right? A backpack item or actual grenades. I suggested that they could actually make it so you only get grenades from the grenade box, and you just get full grenades when you pick up the grenade box, because grenade boxes are more rare than the ammo kits are, right? Yeah, occasionally it's useful for, like, I'll use it as a initiator. Like, I'll use it to start off an attack, right? Because it's useful for that. I've been doing that for months at this point. But yeah, I don't think it's, like, really a primary damage dealer in the same way that you're actually just trying to use it just to do, like, you're just using it as a primary, right? But I didn't think they needed to nerf that when they did that. They needed to fix the ammo usage on it, because otherwise you're just sucking up a bunch of loot on the ground. But I don't think they needed to nerf it. Yeah. Got most everything. You could break down the primary objective if you wanted to. I don't think so. It does feel as though primary objectives in the game in general should be harder than they currently are. They're very easy to finish. The exception maybe being the bot drilling missions. Geological survey for bots. Okay, I think we're good on this, guys. This is a pretty good start. We're probably going to come up with stuff here that isn't actually in the game currently. Yeah, I mean, I literally said that last night. I don't know if you watched. I have we talked about the patch notes, but I literally said exactly that. I said Joel got angry at my marathon runs through the heavy hives, where I just went through and popped 3/4 or 4/5 the holes, and then I have to drop in a resupply, and then I finish off like the last two, or use a 500 kg on them. Yeah. But I'm not everyone. I don't know why. Like that'd be a weird single out. That's arguably skill expression going on there. You know, because I'm good. No. Not everyone's doing that. I guarantee you not everyone's doing it. I've seen people try to do that, by the way, and they just, like, fall over in the middle of it. It is pretty hilarious. Once again, I really do hope they increase the difficulty in the game. Diff 10 is just the beginning. They gotta increase it. It's pretty evident now. There's people, like, clawing their way at Diff 10 already, just trying to get things fucking nerfed. Like, yesterday, like, the Reddit was just full of people asking for nerfs. It was crazy. Absolutely fucking crazy. Nerfs to enemies, not to units, or asking specifically for buffs, which is like nerfing enemies, just lots and lots of buffs, right? To be fair, almost everything on the BetterDivers guide is buffs. It's just the stuff that no one uses, which now apparently people are starting to figure out. There's a lot of stuff in the game that no one uses. Surprise, guys. Oh, I knew a while ago. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. We've been talking about this for months. Fuck you. Oh. Let's see. This is a pretty good one. I think this is actually pretty important, by the way. I think this is actually really important because it helps people figure out what's working and what's not working, and people feel as though... I'll tackle this one, by the way. People feel as though some things in the game are doing a lot more work than they actually are. Something we've talked about for a long time, just never took time to do it. Yeah. fucking marathon. I was marathoning the fucking heavy hives too much. Hilarious. Okay, and that's actually important so people can figure out what's actually working and what's not working in general, and figure out there. Oh, we're at 0. Are we actually at 0 for a percentage of downvotes? We'll take a look at this tomorrow. I'm not gonna spend time looking at this. Usually it doesn't really, for me, like, I don't really care that much about, like, developer commentary, even though arguably this is all developer commentary, right? I'm trying to rationalize things that I'm suggesting being changed in the game, right? And this matters because I'm not the one pushing the buttons. So even, I can't just do this myself, right? I could do this myself and not rationalize it at all because I wouldn't need to talk to anyone. But pretty much everything here has a bunch of text because I need to rationalize it to the developers that are playing the game, so hopefully they change it since... I'm not on the payroll right now since Shams, though. He stopped paying me my 10-cent increments, so... Let's see. And who even said this game was too easy? It's too easy. Who says it's too easy? I said it's fucking too easy. So even if you don't believe me that it's too easy, you look at, as we've talked about, you look at the number of reinforcements left at diff 9, the total time used out of the remaining time, total time remaining, and the percentage of the map cleared. Because if there isn't like the map isn't completely cleared, that means people had to arbitrage or attrition. They had to leave stuff behind because they couldn't complete it in time. Pills acknowledged that they've been nerfing fun and you had to spend more time running away reloading than actually fighting things. What? I mean, he said that they're nerfing too much stuff and he's going to look into it. He didn't say anything about running away and reloading unless it's something I didn't see. And how there is likely going to be a massive revamp to the primaries to make them more deadly as well as they have 50% more ammo. That's definitely paraphrasing. That is very much paraphrasing, or I didn't see it. That is a lot of paraphrasing if I've ever seen it. They might be talking about my attempt to rebalance the primaries, which we haven't actually put to the BetterDivers guide, which is another thing we have to add, but that's not tonight. I had some Wendy's. I went shopping. One of the reasons I was so late, I went shopping, got a bunch of shit. I fucking hate, have I told you guys, it's depressing. It's fucking depressing. I fucking hate going shopping for food. I hate going to the goddamn grocery store. It is depressing. Once again, I am more of a realist as it goes, right? But that also can mean just being very cynical. You go to the fucking grocery store, you buy a bunch of food, it costs a shitload of money, you eat said food, you get fat, it brings you one step closer to death, and then you have to go do it all over again. It is a thankless process. I fucking hate it. I can't be the only one that thinks it. I fucking hate shopping so much. But I occasionally have to go shopping, obviously. I buy a lot of frozen food, a lot of fish and vegetables, mixed vegetables as well. You put a little dab of butter in them and put some seasoning on it. You can get a lot of different kinds of seasoning that makes them taste all different sorts of greatness, right? Great things. But yeah, I do a lot of fish, a lot of veggies. Veggies are pretty cheap, as it turns out. As is relatively fish. And it's one of the least likely things to kill you. Fucking going to the store is gonna kill you. Just the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure a lot of people actually enjoy going grocery shopping, right? A lot of people probably actually enjoy going to the store. That's why people, instead of like just going and doing one massive trip like once a month, they go like, like they go more than once a week. Sometimes multiple, like every other day or something like that, where they just go and find something to eat and then they go home and eat it. Like it's a to-do for me. I just go there and I buy a massive amount of food and then I just eat it over the next month or so. But I had Wendy's tonight prior to doing that. Pretty good. Wendy's is one of the very few places that either has some good food and options and also at the same time is relatively cheap. If you get the Biggie Bag, depending on where you live, Biggie Bag's pretty good. They give you some nugs for some extra protein too, rather than making it cheaper. Every big update requires a bit of playtime before we know which direction to fine-tune things. Just more difficulties. People have the option of playing at lower difficulties, and if it turns into something where it's an issue, then we're going to have to talk more and more about MMR, guys, over the next couple months, as it turns out, with Helldivers. More and more about stopping people from playing difficulties that are too hard. Sadly. But yeah, this is why I thought, I mentioned before they could increase the difficulty and they could add a couple. But I said they should add 30, and we talked last night in the... Was it last night or the day before? No, last night was the patch notes. We talked last night about how they can add additional difficulty to the game in a meaningful way without just adding new monsters over and over and over again. There's ways to do it, or just adding more units, right? And there's some more generic ways, some more generic knobs and switches and levers you can flip, but at the same time you can weigh and balance which to do. And if you really want to, you can give people the option of figuring out which ones they want to flip. In the case of Hades, we talked about Hades, right? Hades being a data point in which you can you increase the difficulty, but you pick which knobs you turn as the person playing the character, which is actually pretty cool. Hades is a very, very cool game. I think, a lot of it is, we talked about the difficulty consistency, right? We talked about that a lot. And it's not just like, before I quit, right, and played Rivals for a week or two, before I played Rivals, I had the most, it was occasionally we'd run into a difficult game, but it was like 1 out of 10 games would be really difficult, and the other 9 would just be easy mode. I still have no idea why that happens. I have no idea in any way, shape, or form why that happens, where you just play it, and it's like the mobs are missing or something. It makes no sense. I've come up with all different sorts of theories as to why that goes on, but I don't know. That also really matters, is because if people can't play at like diff 9 and get kind of the same number of mobs or the same amount of difficulty, then it doesn't seem to be the same game for them. And I don't know, Shams mentioned that the developers aren't always playing at average level difficulty, and I don't know exactly what that means. They're playing higher, they're playing lower, so maybe they can't balance it properly. I can, by the way, but putting that aside. It could be that they aren't able to necessarily figure out what is actually hard and the kind of severity of hard. But you could also use stats to figure that out, by the way. It's also why stats are very important. You can figure that out through the reinforcement count, and as a way of flagging, because there's mutators in the game, a way of flagging mutators with kill counts. All the stuff, by the way, all these things that you can do, you can help stats. If you're a developer that can't actually play at a certain level, you can help, not that it's the only indicator, mind you. You can't just use stats, as some game companies have tried doing that. But it is definitely a very, very useful metric for figuring out what exactly is going on in the game. And I guess they don't have a lot of stat gathering. It's like one of the first things I'd ever suggest in a game is just, you have to have good stat gathering. It's important. Because, for instance, I don't always play with all the stratagems, or I don't use everything all the time, right? So it's not necessarily... Like, I might not have an opinion on everything, and there might be some hidden gems in there or something. You could parse a lot of stats that are very, very meaningful. And I guess they aren't doing that, because that would help them out in what they're doing right now, right? Also, even... That's developer stats. That's not even... We're talking about endgame stats. It's developer stats, which these both would be meaningful, by the way. And you could pull large data sets from all the players that are playing to figure out what exactly is going on. And obviously, you have to fucking throw out the cheater data, because there is going to be cheater data, too. So you have to figure out ways of... pruning off the erroneous data, I guess you could call it, which would be there too. But I don't have access to their metrics, but even games like Dead by Daylight has metrics that they collect data on. Dead by Daylight, they collect data on it to figure out how, like, pros and cons of different things that are going on in the game. It's very important. Data is very... If you're taking your game seriously, data collection is very important, and it's not data collection as sending it for cookies and shit like that. Data collection in terms of performance metrics and what's going on in the game. Very, very, very important, and it's starting to seem a lot like they don't even do that, so... I don't know. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen anyone say such a thing. I've been saying it for fucking months. Difficulty in the game's too easy. I don't know what it's like yet. We play basically different... I don't know, you're never gonna get time to fucking play missions tonight. Okay. People say Incendiary Breaker's shit now. Take a look at this. Change the pooper? I mean, if you can do that, you might be able to do it with other guns. I know you... Oh, I bet they changed the mults because they changed the leg damage. They changed the pooper damage for fire. I forget they haven't released this yet when they said that, what is it, the cape? I mentioned the cape. It's actually on the BetterDivers guide. Yeah. I actually mentioned the cape, and I said it should show the tail end here that it doesn't show, which is the big upkeep of... It just shows mainly the negative part of the metric, and it should actually be both sides. So it goes like right here to the negative, and then it goes to positive and planes out from the positive, instead of just mainly showcasing the negative part of the cloak. It's actually on the BetterDivers guide. Tweak to it, so it's less negativity and more neutrality, or showing perseverance, right? It still shows what you're trying to show. It just shows that at the end they basically came out of it, right? Here, 34. Now they want to wear it because they don't like what's going on in the game. That's why you gotta be careful, because you're giving them, like, literally fucking pitchforks they can all wear around. Flaming pitchforks they can all wear around. So, you know, like, if it's perseverance, they probably aren't going to do that, right? Maybe they will, but maybe they won't. September update leaked. Is it a belt-fed backpack? Weapon with backpack ammo now requires players to bring separate stratagems for backpack and weapon. I don't actually know if this is a meme for something. Shoot the... About the flamethrower, I don't need to penetrate the pot to cook the rice. Why should I destroy a charger's leg armor to boil its leg? Realism as a balancing mechanic. Okay, as in like 40% of the bot sessions when we see that on there for the AC Deer to Arrowhead. It's not on high-end missions. It's not that common. We even talk about how uncommon it is, which is weird. Once again, they don't have the breakdown for stats at levels, which matters a lot. And instead, he said 30%. But if you're talking about Helldive, it was literally like fucking like 75 or 50%. Autocannon's like 40% bot sessions. It's not. That would be 1 to 2 per mission. Also, autocannon should be nerfed against bots. I agree with that. And we talked about that. Just saw this. It can't be serious, right? To make adjustments that we believe will enhance the overall fun factor of the game. Talking about accepting ideas. What? Yeah, I mean, you can't. Everything can't be OP. They should really just make a. They should make a sandbox mode where you can go in and laser rifle shit. Because I guess that's what people want to do. Patch explanation. That's the thing we're going to cover tomorrow, which is at the top. This motherfucker spitting. Yep. Dude, you just like everyone's using it and just you touch it. It's a fucking hornet's nest. And they all rally around each other too. But is it 1.200 or .2? This one says 002. This one says 200. Which is it? Which is it? I had to put this in my patch notes or in my videos, so. Okay, we'll look at this tomorrow if that's off the front page. Alright, so new entry of the BetterDivers for extended stats at the end of the game. I know, guys, this is kind of boring for some of you guys, but this is important for improving the game. So people can actually figure out what's actually working and what's not working in the game and then kind of go from there. So they can actually see that it's overperforming or underperforming, right? Okay. We're gonna play some games, guys. Let's get out of the podcast. Another long podcast, by the way. But I don't know what I'm gonna do for dinner. Okay. I'm gonna wash my coffee cup out, guys, and grab a soda. I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay. All right. Enough of that shit. Enough of that shit, guys. Let's see. Okay, well, we unlocked Diff 10 last night. We didn't really get to play around with it because it's too late. Play some missions tonight. See where things are going. How difficult Diff 10 is. Like I said, I think we're past the point where they can lower or change the difficulty at the current difficulty levels. It just needs to be static, and they need to add more and more difficulties. Past the point of balancing, people need to see numbers go up, even if it's the same thing. That's the way people feel. Feels matter. Oh, fun. Hope you guys are on a wonderful evening.
Mission coordinates locked. Hellpods primed.
Let's see.
Engaging orbital thrusters.
Better. What did we play around with a little bit last night? 120. What else has changed? The walking. Both of which I'm not really going to use because we're playing against bugs. Oh, the air dog. Might be viable now. Alright. The audio still sounds really weird, I don't know why. Sounds hollow.
Calling down a support weapon.
I don't understand why. Alright. Is that a mega hive? Oh my god, I love mega hives! Almost sounds like there's ducking in the game. Yeah, you don't actually need to do that, bro. It's like there's ducking between sounds. What the fuck is it? That's really annoying. I noticed it last night, too. Fading between the sounds when the other sounds are playing.
Heavy, north, close.
Dropping package. Requesting air support.
Asset secured.
Pretty for sure. Christ, there's like no way. There you go.
Sending in an eagle. Feels good.
There you go. Clean angle. Think you actually need my help here?
That's what I call liberty.
I don't know how difficult Diff 10 is, so. They're all using LMGs for some reason. I don't even care if, like, the AR dog might be inferior to the Laze dog. I just want to use a fucking different backpack at this point. Terminal to raise satellite tower.
I got the terminal.
cut off the pooper.
Got a sample.
Yeah, there's definitely, like, I think it's ducking between... I absolutely hate ducking, by the way. It makes you think you're going crazy. Like there's ducking between sounds when another sound's playing.
New mag.
Absolutely hate ducking.
Orbital inbound. Bug tunnel breach.
I love Mega Nests.
I'm on it.
Than Mega Nest. Oh, actually, this might be a large nest.
Bug outpost spotted.
Large nest. Fortunately, I have a limited number of things I can actually use now because Joel decided to remove them.
Air support. Last reload.
Requesting air support.
Limited number of grenades because Joel took them out of the game.
Out of it.
What?
Throwing grenade.
Out of everything now. Alright. Doesn't want me speed running his nest, guys.
Ending in an eagle. Requesting orbital strike.
Not good.
South. Close.
It's gonna take forever to close my fucking Quasar. You gotta watch out for those little spinnies because they get fucking too close.
For prosperity.
Close it. Look out!
How'd you like the taste of freedom? New mag. Rare sample acquired.
I might have to consider taking something different to speedrun hives.
Requesting air support. Have a taste of democracy.
We need the supplies. It's like you know. It's like you know I just asked for supplies. That's not gonna work. Get the fuck over there.
Extraction is available.
Sending in an eagle. Requesting orbital. Get some! Get some!
Someone trying to rearm.
Stay down. Requesting air support.
Calling down
Alright.
supplies.
There we go.
Reloading.
Last reload. Rare sample acquired. Fire in the hole.
Oh no.
Sample collected.
Been here for so long, guys. My teammates came over.
Destroyed.
Oh, my honor has been armed.
Back empty.
Frigging up my 500 kg so I could use them against the bug holes too.
Bugs, northwest. Supplies.
Orbital inbound. Heavy. Northwest. Close.
How'd you like the taste of freedom?
Yeah, there's something's fucked up with the sound now. It wasn't like the pre-patch.
Back in action. Proceed to extraction when
Oh,
ready.
no.
I'm sorry.
But
New mag.
bud. This is Aardvark. Who wants belly rubs? Where are you? He wants belly rubs.
Calling down a support
Probably. Oh, there he is.
Dropping a
I
pin.
think we can just kill him with a bunch of grenades. Let's find out.
Have a taste of democracy.
You have to shoot the pooper? I'd do it.
Requesting orbital.
Still alive. How are you still alive? What I really want to know. Oh, maybe you have to shoot the face? I guess I didn't shoot the face? Stop it! Stop it! Grenade pistol still running, or grenade still running? Oh my god. I don't know if he has a dash attack. We're about to find out.
Reinforcing.
Oh, well, that killed him. You guys. Don't mind me.
Reloading. Requesting air support. Reporting to the front. Run tunnel free. New mag.
I can't tell if my laser... Oh, no, it still has ammo. Dude, the fucking... Please fix the ammo indicator, BHVR. Not BHVR. Arrowhead. Joel, fix the fucking ammo indicator on this thing. I don't know how much ammo I actually have. It's like... Sometimes it's like telling you the magazine. Now, go away. Oh, I just got one tapped. Alright.
Eat this. Reinforcing.
Ah! I love macros, too.
Point me to the enemy.
Let's see. Oh, excuse me. That's very rude. I'm walking here. Alright. Let's see. Let's go over here. We're going to run around the backside and pick up the extra kit of ammo, because I think it'll resupply my drone, which I think is out right now. At this point, no. By the way, we could actually just call in another one, so it being out of ammo really doesn't even matter that much. By the way, we still have 9 reinforcements left. There we go.
Calling in orbital strike.
Is that the Aardvark? Aardvark-chan! I don't know exactly
Throwing grenade.
if I do that. That. I don't know how to deal with these guys. I've definitely blown them up like when 2 HEs before, so
Extraction is available.
dealing with that I haven't done yet. There you go. That's for you.
Sending in an eagle.
Prepare to exterminate.
Late.
The cavalry.
Got a
Leggy
sample.
ground loot.
Sending in an eagle.
How'd you like the taste of freedom? Requesting air support.
Unleashing democracy.
Yep. Good.
Orbital inbound.
Terminate outpost.
Good. I'll take a peek over here to see if they picked up the samples. They did. The trees almost always have samples in them, by the way.
Requesting orbital air support.
There's 6 minutes left. I don't know how this is going to play out, so we'll probably try and play this safe as opposed to go over and over and trying to 100% it.
How'd you like the taste of freedom? Last reload.
Bud. Let's go find the aardvark. Don't know how you're supposed to figure it out besides it just being kind of in the proximity of the tentacles, right? Right there.
Sending in an eagle.
Heavy, southeast. On my position.
They legit just ran straight into my...
Calling in
You gotta be kidding me.
5 minutes left. Liberty speed your step, Helldiver.
That didn't do anything. Maybe under the mouth?
Extraction request confirmed. Shuttle inbound.
Oh, it just died. I don't know if I killed it or someone else killed it.
Reinforcing.
I don't know if those are intentionally dropped samples.
Weapons have been launched.
Turn. Looked like a dead body, which is why I picked him up.
T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Stop! Stop! No. 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 Oh, you just want to get close to me. Oh, I just hit my teammate. I know you want to get close to me, so I hit myself.
ETA, T-minus 1 minute.
Guess you can't pathfind through there.
Bug tunnel breach. Freedom.
He just shot the fucking pooper out. Very unhelpful, by the way. It's exactly what you shouldn't be doing. Makes it much more difficult to kite Bile Titans when their pooper's gone.
ETA, T-minus 30 seconds.
Or there.
Requesting air support. Southeast. Close.
ETA, T-minus 20 seconds.
Very juicy. There is definitely something wrong with the sound now.
ETA, T-minus 10
Unfortunately, it's going to kill S1. I can't be the only one, can I?
Giving you.
Like, I legit can't be the only person that, the sound, sounds really fucked up and, it sounds hollow. Very, very hollow. I tried a couple different, the audio modes too, and it didn't seem to do anything. Oh, okay.
Objective located. Southwest.
Pelican 1 preparing
Cut.
to depart. Shuttle launch in 20 seconds.
I believe H3. Any tips on the Impaler? I'm still trying to figure out how to kill it. Not clearing all the holes? Yeah. It's like my first Diff 10 game. It's not the first time killing an Impaler, though. It seems like when its head's in the ground, when, it doesn't have the giant, face guard up, is when it's very vulnerable. However, I'm pretty sure I've shot it with, the squid head exposed, and it still doesn't die. But I've also just threw 2 grenades on it at the end there when the squid head was exposed and then died, so... It could just be you have to wait for the squid head to pop out. But good. Good. I think that's the key. I tried shooting it, I threw 4 grenades at it when the face guard was up and it didn't do anything, even though they landed underneath it. Not exactly sure what that means, if it's just, not vulnerable at all, or if the spot that you have to blow up is hidden. There's a lot of units where it feels like if you roll a grenade under it, it should be doing a lot more than it does, right, for the soft underbelly. Maybe they're armored against that. Maybe they evolved to have their heads in their arms, Charger. Right. Arrived late, saved the day, almost. Alrighty.
Welcome aboard, Helldiver, and congratulations on completing your training.
Thank you. Again. The Dagobah biome is always kind of weird in how it functions and how the enemy units function. So I'll actually be kind of curious to play against Div 10 on, like, let's say, a more open playing field.
Hellpods primed. Engaging orbital thrusters.
I have the ability to full screen. Does it cost more? What?
Allied destroyer has left squadron. Orbit synchronized.
I'll just came in the room. You turn on your camera while you play? One of the reasons I turned off my camera was because no one seemed to care. And as it actually lowers my stress levels, and I wear glasses normally. So, generally I don't have my cam on anymore when I'm playing games. I have it on the podcast section because I wear contacts. Just trying that out. But I usually wear glasses.
Democracy calls for aid.
Like a lot of people don't even care if you have cams anymore. That's one of the reasons I turned it off. Like after I turned it off, just, you know, benefit to having it on.
Mission coordinate. Allied destroyer.
A lot of big streamers don't have cams anymore. Unless you are a VTuber or something beautiful to look at. I can full screen watch you and others I can't.
Helldivers to Hellpods.
I have no idea. You mean on TikTok? Yeah, I have no idea. It didn't cost me anything. Hey, bud. Yep. No. No. You guys are too social. That's not a good... Yeah, I have no idea, dude. I didn't do anything special, so... The Tesla Tower, OP. I don't think it was ever OP. The pick rate for it's basically very minimal. I think in order to use it remotely well, you have to take the armor that negates electric damage. And Tesla Tower, it blows up too fast too. Another one of the buildings, and turrets in general need to be buffed, and Tesla Tower falls under the category. Mainly in terms of durability being a big proponent of it. Get the new piss armor? No, I didn't get the piss armor yet. They had an opportunity there to make some nice, like, look, you notice how his armor has golden adornments and stuff like that, right? That's like stuff you're actually looking for. Piss armor doesn't have that. I don't know why the golden shower armor is just kind of, you know. I haven't found a reason to actually get it, so I didn't. It will do a different planet other than Dagobah after this, for a feel. Get a feel on the bugs somewhere else. 70 levels to go, congratulations, you're almost there. You get absolutely nothing after reaching 150, but it's a nice round number, so. I know it's a weird thing to say. You think so, like the whole cam thing, for instance. Back, like occasionally I turn off my camera when I'm playing games just to lower stress levels, because it does. If you're a streamer, you 100% know that. I was under the impression for the longest time, like people really, really wanted to see it, and it's something you have. But over the years on Twitch, it's become apparent that you don't really even need a camera. It just doesn't matter. I think it matters obviously if you're a VTuber, but
Requesting advanced
side of the
weaponry.
map. Matters if you're a VTuber, right? Probably if you're some hot shit, either a booba streamer or just happen to be a really good-looking guy. For everyone else, the normal folks, doesn't seem to matter at all. Plenty of cases of streamers being big without having a cam at all. When I first started streaming, I had a camera on, then I turned it off for 2 years after, because it seemed like it didn't matter. Then I got a camera again because a lot of my viewers wanted me to get a camera. And then after I got a camera, it didn't actually seem to change anything, but I kept it on just because I had one already. Attached to. That was just a random sample in the middle of nowhere. What? Are these just random samples now? That's really weird.
Northeast, 50 meters.
Supplies.
Heavy, northeast, close.
Ah!
Engaging. I'll take it.
There's a stink cloud here, guys. Excuse you, bro. Dead.
Calling in orbital strike.
There's 100% a stinker in here. Hey, Stinker, where are you? Stinker-chan. I can smell that poo-poo. No, 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 no. 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 There's a lot of shit just everywhere. Why are you over here? Go away. Legit, go away. Go somewhere, anywhere else other than near me. Oh, it's a direct slip.
Sample collected.
Killed everything? I guess it did. Away from our teammates. Yeah. Oh. 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 Are you talking about the format where they have like the camera up top and then they have the screen? There's actually like a vertical format that a lot of people use. In the center of the screen is the gameplay, and the bottom's the chat. Is that what you're talking about? That's actually like something streamers do. I don't like it because I'm not that beautiful. First off, I'm not that beautiful. My chat's not that active, and honestly, I think being able to see the game matters a lot.
Requesting air support.
Stuck on the fence. Oh, hey, bud. Glad to see you guys are still here. I was starting to worry that I wouldn't be able to find stalkers again. This is dancing for us, guys.
Request approved. Reinforcements have been launched.
Dancing.
Heavy. Southeast. Close.
I think it's... We're here. If you're talking about the vertical format, though, that is 100% something streamers do. On their own. But I don't enjoy it, so I don't do it. Oh, there it is.
Heavy. On my position.
I think it takes away from a lot of the stuff that actually has value in your stream.
Calling in orbital strike.
A lot of streamers just tend to try to
Calling in reinforcements. Heavy. On my position.
over-innovate, I guess you could say it, where they just try to change stuff that does, like, because they think it's better, because they want to appear different than everyone else, when in fact it just makes things worse.
Allied destroyer being squadron.
Got stuck. Oh my god. Okay. Alright. Alright. Gonna get kind of hair. We're going over here. It's taking too long. That's for you. Alright.
Sending in an eagle.
Destroyed.
Got a sample.
Supplies.
I could use supplies right now. Chopping trees?
Rare sample acquired.
Good. The new big heads seem to take a lot of damage. Could be I'm just not killing them right. Let's see. Find a POI or the radar. Once again, I think radar should be on every map and you should be able to see it when you drop in. Feels everything on the map. and it's just harder to fight for.
Reloading!
Get poo-poo in here. Mega nest. Where the fuck this is.
Freedom's purity secured.
Tagging map, north, 200 meters.
Hi, bud.
Heavy, engage.
Question is that someone new? I don't think so.
Requesting orbital strike.
Died too fast.
Enemy elite, northeast, close. Heavy, thank you. On my position.
Allied destroyer joining squadron, deploying Helldiver to combat zone.
Oh, wait.
Dropping a pin, northwest,
Objective
200
stratagem
meters.
available.
Rare sample
Requesting
acquired.
advanced weaponry. Requesting air support. On my position.
Requesting air
Yep.
support.
Objective critical stratagem no longer available.
You guys are getting riled. That's not what we want.
On my position.
Here's this. Oh, fake reload.
Out of stims.
That's not good either. Alright, well.
Objective critical stratagem available.
Throwing supply.
Sending down equipment package.
Price. Okay.
Sending in an
We're
eagle.
running out of everything. Fuck off!
Last reload.
Orbital strike.
Excuse you. Stand back. Oh, no, no. Fuck you. Fuck it. Get the fuck away from me. Where the fuck's your other nest? Stop it. Stop it. I just died to the fucking fire tower, the napalm.
Reinforcements.
Natural gas geyser. There we go. Christ. I haven't got my fucking stims. Nerfing ammo. I mean, what particular? Are you talking about the Incendiary Breaker? There's a lot of other weapons you can use other than the Incendiary Breaker. You don't need to use the Incendiary Breaker. I actually talked to multiple different times about the fact that there's just people using it when they don't actually need to use it.
Requesting air support.
No one actually looks to other weapons in the game. Like I do, but a lot of people just use the Incendiary Breaker, and then they'll go on like Reddit and talk about how the weapons suck and they can't use them.
Sending in an eagle.
I haven't used Incendiary Breaker today though. We're still getting into the patch. I don't know whether or not it sucks.
Requesting orbital strike.
I doubt it, but maybe.
Found something.
Requesting air support.
Sample collected.
Yeah. I don't know what P1's doing. Yeah? You can figure out what he's doing. We're going this way. Not going to go over there to hold hands with him if that's what's going on.
Bug hole.
Requesting
Northwest.
advanced weapon.
Go north and do the northern poo-poo trees from the looks of it, or a light nest.
Requesting orbital.
You're a Pummeler user. Well, Pummeler user wasn't... You haven't been touched at all, right?
Throwing grenade.
Sending in an eagle.
Alright, he's missing his head.
Mission at 30 minutes remaining.
Requesting air support.
Terminate outpost.
Yes, we're going... Oh, that's off angle. It's gonna hit a tree.
Tagging map. North. 200 meter tagging location.
Eagle 1, leaving combat zone to resupply.
Marking location.
Landing pad. Fuck's the poo-poo tree. No! No! I fucking died to a fire tree, or a natural gas geyser again.
Permanent hive structure destroyed.
God, these things are full. Maybe we have to go back to the adjudicator? They're much more aggressive than normal big heads, so they get up next to you too fast. Up next to me too fast.
Permanent outpost destroyed.
Mag's empty!
Requesting air support.
Liberty returns, locked and loaded.
Northeast?
300 meters.
I do appreciate having a different drone, by the way. Like, I've talked about this a lot. Just using laser drone eventually just gets really, really fucking boring. Like, I don't even care if this might be worse than the laser drone. I think I'm out of ammo for it. Can't tell because the ammo indicator's fucked up.
Tagging location. Southwest. Cancel that.
Another poo-poo tree.
Enemy patrol. Southwest. Requesting air support.
Atmospherics are different on it.
Sample acquired. Sample collected.
Bugs. South. Sending in an eagle. Calling in orbital strike.
Yeah.
Permanent hive structure destroyed.
Rare sample acquired.
Let's see. So we haven't seen the Mega Nest yet. Let's go. Actually, let's go pick up ammo at the POI. I don't know what's over here. I ran past it.
Democracy's dignity maintained.
Got that. Oh my god. Crash ship.
Dropping a pin. 300 meters.
But-
Dropping a pin.
Yeah. Alright. Too close. That's a natural gas geyser. I'm dead. There's two.
Reinforcing.
One was behind a rock. I do feel as though them randomly exploding at any given moment, like chargers can blow them up. It may not be exactly what we're looking for here. There's a poo-poo charger here.
Orbital inbound.
Sending in an eagle.
Also, why does it instantly kill you too? That's what I don't understand. Like, it doesn't try to set you on fire and you just die.
Say hello to democracy.
I don't know if I can actually walk into it either. It'll just kill me. Bitch, fuck off.
Feels good.
Another poo-poo geyser. Ah, I love 380s.
Request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
We're just gonna try running in and see if I can pick the shit up for what it does. Oh, it looks like it ran out.
Freedom has prevailed. Now head to the extraction point.
Dead. There's another one. Jesus fucking this. So this is like Dagobah 2.0. There's a lot more of the fucking natural gas shits everywhere. Look at this. Like it's just like a swampland area.
Got a sample.
Ah, grubs. I love grubs. Ammo. I love ammo too.
Heavy. Southeast. Close.
Back to the crash site, which we didn't collect.
Supplies. Tagging location. Cancel that.
Away.
Tagging map.
Oh my god, game.
200 meters. Tagging map. Southeast. 200 meters.
Rare sample acquired.
Yep. Very important.
Sample.
You never know who needs samples, guys. The kids eat samples. You wouldn't want to deny the kids samples, would you?
Requesting air support.
I hope not.
Requesting orbital strike.
He did just despawn. There's like a bile titan and shit over here.
Tagging location. Southwest.
So take a look at the mega
On my
nest.
position.
My orange following me around. Game, the radar doesn't detect samples. I mean, it detects POIs, right?
Heavy. Southwest.
I did suggest a
On my
revamp for the
position.
radar, though, in which basically you see the radar when you drop and you wouldn't see the side objective like the research station or
Sending in an eagle.
the pod, research station pod, or other one, broadcast tower. But you'd always see the radar station when you drop in, and the radar stations would just be more heavily guarded, right?
Heavy. On my position. Air support.
Those all bug holes, mega nests. I love mega nests. Oh my god, I love mega nests. Look at this, it's so beautiful. Oh, ow. It's so beautiful. Isn't it? Wow. Here, you guys can have that. That's for you. It's a mega nest, guys. Isn't that cool? I don't know where the aardvark is. He's hiding somewhere. I do feel as though the aardvark should have some sort of visual indicator of where he is, like maybe a glow or hue or shit cloud or something, so you can figure out where they're at. Because this is like next to impossible for me to actually figure out, right? What is this? Up there. Wait, what?
Bugs. Sending in an eagle.
What did I just pick up?
Heavy. On my position.
I don't know what I just picked up.
Dropping package. Sending in an eagle.
Alright, we're going over here. But where the fuck is your body?
Requesting advanced weaponry. Calling in orbital strike. Tagging location.
I'm on the ground for some reason. Alright. Yeah. Can't move.
Supplies.
Can't move again. Ah, that's for you guys.
Requesting air support.
That's not what we want. Want this. This is mine. I don't know what it does, but I want it because it's here. Running the football, guys. We might not make it through here, actually. We're fine. Excuse me.
On my position.
Dropping package. Requesting air support.
Right there.
Requesting orbital.
That's called the...
What the fuck was that?
Calling in reinforcements.
Joel, did you adjust the fucking outliers on the cluster bomb? That cluster bomb hit like way off target. Like I wasn't even the main. Like,
On my position.
what the fuck was that?
Democracy has landed.
Samples.
Heavy. Southwest. Close.
God damn it, Joel.
Air support. Requesting orbital strike.
There's outliers on the fucking barrage. There's outliers on the cluster bomb. Cluster bomb outliers hit like up to maybe 5 meters away. 25 you're safe, but 5 meters will also hit.
Tagging location. South.
And that was like fucking like 35 or something like it.
Sending in an eagle.
How about a nice
Heavy.
cup of
On my
liver
position.
tea?
Heavy. On my position.
No. Get it? Did get it. Excuse me. Is this like even like closing holes, or is it like closing like segments of holes? Like I just closed 3? I think it's like separate segments.
Throwing grenade. Bug tunnel breach.
10. I want my egg back.
Broken arm.
I'm gonna raise it on my ship. I'm gonna have a pet fucking beetle.
Requesting orbital.
Going stealth, guys. Ow.
Heavy, on my position.
Dropping package.
Calling in orbital strike. Heavy, on my position.
That is to guarantee the angle. There you go. Not where we want to be.
Gotta fix this. Liberty for
My arm's fine. Shut the fuck up.
Requesting air support.
You're a big bad boy. You've played 5 million fucking Helldives. And you're still complaining about your goddamn arm because the bone's sticking out through it. What is that? What the fuck is that, guys? Oh, is there a cheater in this game?
On my position.
No, I don't think that's actually,
Requesting air support. Reinforcing.
I don't think this is cluster bomb. I think we have a cheater in our game that's killing me.
Heavy, on my position.
That would explain that. They're probably stream sniping me and matching it up with the fucking cluster bomb to make it seem like it's an accident.
Point me to the enemy.
Pretty sure we're getting stream sniped right now. Fun.
Requesting orbital.
Yeah, so I've had that happen to me before in lobbies with cheaters. However, the last time I've had that happen, it wasn't actually
Northwest. Close. Heavy. Southwest.
in tune with my scatter or my cluster bomb. I'm pretty sure there's a cheater in the game.
Fire in the hole.
Well, that's most unfortunate, and you can't really tell who's cheating. Oh, it's probably the guy that's following me around, which is the host. No, 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 no. Stop that. Unless it's something different. I didn't see anything. If you ever look at the Lumina teasers, it's blue. It is blue lasers, and that was definitely not a blue laser, so.
Sending in an eagle. Package acquired.
Fun.
Marking location. Never mind. Southwest. Package acquired. Dropping package.
The
Reloading.
this is bugged out.
Strike. Package acquired. Heavy. Northeast. 50 meters.
Dead.
Throwing grenade.
Heavy. Northeast.
Ooh.
Package acquired.
Not exactly what's going on there.
Tagging location. North.
Fuck off, dude.
Extraction is available.
Okay.
Marking location.
Ah, apparently he knew where a hole was
Heavy.
without seeing it.
North.
That's kind of weird, isn't it?
Requesting
Hey,
air
bud.
support. Dropping package. Reinforced package acquired. Thank
What?
you.
So,
Follow me.
are you streaming on another? I stream to every platform. I stream to Kick, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube,
Joining the
Twitch,
fray. Heavy. On my position.
and Trovo. All the platforms, all the time.
Dropping package. Calling in extraction.
Yeah, so we most definitely have someone in the game that's cheating right now. which is probably, I said it was the host, but it might actually be the other guy, which is the blue guy, because he knew exactly where the hole was, even though he couldn't see it.
Requesting tac pack.
Which would be a wall hack.
Support weapon.
Oh, fun.
Supplies.
ETA T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Tagging location. Southeast. On my way. Engaging. I'll take it.
There's a poo-poo charger here.
Calling in orbital strike.
Sending in an eagle.
I just got hit by... Oh, maybe those guys can do ranged attacks now? That's the big heads, when they hit you, have some sort of, like, psychic attack that stuns you or causes, like, a blast...
Sending in an eagle.
Like a flashbang or concussion blast.
Marking location. Northeast.
Psionic blast. Good.
Marking location. East.
ETA T-minus 30 seconds.
Reloading.
Drop the egg.
ETA T-minus 20
Active
seconds.
acquired.
Why don't you want the egg?
Canister's not deep.
Who would leave the egg behind, guys? I don't know.
ETA T-minus 10 seconds.
Back empty.
Your monitor's so bright. I assume that's what you're saying.
Orbital inbound. Requesting air support.
Pelican 1 landing in progress.
Don't leave it on the demo mode.
Orbital inbound. On my way. Engaging. Sending in an eagle.
And someone dropped the orbital with 380 right next to the pad, because they're smart like that.
Extraction complete.
Good.
Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
So, pretty sure someone here is cheating, guys. I don't know who it is, and obviously stream sniping too, which is why we're getting blown up randomly. Fun. I was randomly exploding. The one guy knew where the bug hole was, even though he couldn't see it. Not sure if they're in tandem with each other. I'm pretty sure there's a pre-made too. And we had Orange follow me around earlier, although sometimes people do that when you're alone, because they want to work in duos. Which I don't play, or I don't do. When I was dropping the cluster bomb, you'd see me get hit about 1.5 seconds after all the bombs explode. I just explode out of nowhere. In the cluster bomb animation, it happened to me twice, which I pointed out both times. And I thought it was an outlier, but that was way too far away from the distribution of cluster bombs for it to be an outlier, and it's too late, too, after the initial explosion. Alright, let's find a different game, guys. Yeah, I generally do lone wolf stuff. I try to do the stuff the team's not doing. Well, if it's easy enough. I run off and do stuff the team's not doing, and then I meet up with the team if they're having problems. And then obviously if we work down the clock or the amount of reinforcements we have, I'll go and actually try to help out the team. Let's change planets. Sand. I love sand. Here still exists. Like we're Sandy Vagina? Alright.
Allied destroyer coordinates received.
The hour of our next victory rapidly approaches.
Pretty good.
Initiating FTL jump.
Okay, so we're gonna try a different map that is
Welcome aboard, Helldiver.
not
And look forward
the
to serving.
Dagobah biome.
Allied destroyer coordinates received. Hellpods primed. Engaging orbital thrusters.
I haven't seen Scatter in a while. They toned that down a lot for some reason. Angering the kids too much. Take the AR dog for flavor. Oh. Ah! My FPS limiter on. Who would do such a thing?
Go now.
Well,
And fear the shadow of night or death.
stay on, I can't fucking see shit.
Bug outpost spotted.
Deploying equipment package.
Calling down a support weapon.
Ah, Mega Nest. I love Mega Nests.
Requesting orbital.
Oh, someone has extra reinforcements? Let's go a different way that these guys are going. Let's go northeast.
Request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
Seen ammo on. I don't know what I just picked up ammo for. Oh, we got corrosive biome.
Requesting air support.
Got him.
Found something. Reloading.
That's all garbage. Bud. Let's see. Medium nest. Can't see shit, guys.
Calling in orbital strike.
Requesting orbital.
Ah,
Sending in an eagle.
no. 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 No.
Sending in an eagle.
Oh, still too close.
Reinforcing.
Request approved. Deploying reinforcements.
Maybe we'll try the Incendiary Breaker since the kids are talking it up.
How'd you like the taste of freedom?
Reinforcing.
Might have to go help my team. It doesn't help that we have basically like fucking stealth corrosive bugs right now. Like that I can barely see. Give them a second, otherwise we're gonna respawn them over by me.
Reinforcing.
Oh, Jesus. Good?
Sending in an eagle.
AR dog just lobotomized my brain. It apparently one bullet takes half your HP. I'm pretty sure I just got shot once and it just insta lobotomized me.
Requesting advanced.
That wasn't even like a small bit. Yeah, we just air dog lobotomized me. Huh. Well, let's first take a friendly damage of gun.
Warning, you are leaving the mission area.
Right? Gotta be kidding me. Okay. Yeah, I mean, occasionally happens, but there's only so many offensive packs you can use, right? There's a lot of opportunities for offensive packs, but there aren't really a lot of offensive packs, so. Hey, daytime. I love daytime. Wow. A lot of things they could put into an offensive pack. They just don't. Aren't many options currently exist right now. Blaze Dog and Air Dog, right? Side pack weapons.
Reinforcing.
Pretty sure. Air Dog just plugged me in the side of the head and I died instantly. Most unfortunate.
Bug outpost spotted. Prepare to exterminate. Sending in an eagle.
Is the research station. Enemies here?
Objective critical stratagem available.
Calling in a hell bomb.
Not really. Well, not yet.
Bug tunnel breach.
Ah, research at the research station. They're changing it. This is new. This was kind of here before, but it wasn't like this level of detail. Oh, their mappers are working.
Engaging terminal. Hell bomb orb.
Oh, that
Clear
just
the
blows up.
area.
I don't even need to be here anymore. That's just gonna explode. What? I just shot the fucking weed in front of me. I heard a stalker just now.
Objective completed.
Fucking heard you. I did hear you scurrying around and making scurry sense.
Mag. Sending in an eagle.
And looks like this way.
Rare sample acquired.
Requesting orbital strike.
Maybe not. It wasn't where I just came from, was it?
Requesting air support.
Where I just came from.
Bug outpost.
Terminate outpost purged.
I heard you, bitch. Fuck off.
Throwing grenade.
Nope. Nope. God, you're fucking annoying. Are you just missing like one leg or something? Can I even survive against this? The fuck is going on here? Go away. Holy shit, the fuck is that?
Calling down a support.
Jesus Christ.
Orbital inbound.
I couldn't get away far enough to actually...
Mission at 30 minutes.
I mean, I guess if I had a different gun, that wouldn't be such an issue, right? Oh my god. Well, that's the problem. I think he was in a turbo mode, though. That wasn't, like, normal. We need to call in a resupply.
Calling down supplies.
Sorry, my friends. Need stims. There's no POIs around here. Maybe we could find one. That's an objective. Objectives don't have meds in them.
New mag! Rare sample acquired.
Alright, let's go find the stalker nest now. Came from this way, so it looked like maybe there was just a patrol that went through the stalker nest. I saw the exclamation point, I thought it was something else, but it could have actually just been the stalker nest above the ridge line over here. I saw that earlier. But there's so many units there, I thought it was actually just like, see it? I thought it was the stalker nest. That was a patroller or something like at like Seaf or something. Stalker nest.
Reloading!
Reinforcing!
Tagging location southeast.
Fuck you.
Rare sample acquired. How'd you like to taste of freedom?
Oh, were you gonna screech? Were you gonna screech? No, it's too late. Fuck you.
Calling in orbital strike.
Yeah, so there was just a shitload of units here, but it was just like, I guess there's just a bunch of smalls at it already. Normally stalker nests don't really have much at it unless you trigger it.
New mag!
It's like 2 units. Yeah, get him, air dog.
Calling in reinforcements!
Here, this is for you guys.
Requesting air
There.
support.
Administering freedom.
Rare sample acquired.
Yeah, I swear there's something wrong with the sound where it sounds like there's like ducking or something weird going on.
Sample collected.
Makes the sound really hollow. It like drops out. Hey, ducking.
I got the terminal.
Up there with post-processing.
Engaging terminal. I got the terminal. 1 Alpha 2 Alpha 2 Bravo.
Requesting air support.
Oh, it announces all of them now. It doesn't just announce one of them.
Mission map updated.
Maybe it always did that? I don't think it always did that.
I'm on it!
Objective complete.
Calling in reinforcements.
Like an earthquake?
Requesting
Oh, maybe there's the sound of, the oil going through the pipes?
Terminate
Engaging
outpost
terminal.
destroyed.
Rare
Right.
sample acquired.
Got them. Oh, they found themselves... Radar. Radar, very important, guys. Huh.
Reinforcing.
We're in a wall right now. We're going to reinforce, even though I got 2 500 kgs. Reload.
Requesting orbital!
Got through him. Wait, you died really fast.
Reloading.
Hey, bud. It's bloody one.
Orbital strike.
Requesting orbital!
Still too close. Mine? Mine?
Rare sample acquired.
Mine?
Sample collected.
Okay. Very juicy. Hey, bud. Dead. Fuck off. No.
You will never destroy our way of life.
No. He's trying to be an opportunistic piece of shit, guys. He's coming at me at my weakest. Who would do that? All besides smart enemies. Hey, bro. Go over here into your hive and kill all your family and just hang on.
Reinforcing.
Bug holes, guys.
We're back in business.
Aardvark. Alright. Oh, we're almost dead now. Oh! Jesus Christ. I think the tentacles just saved me. Alright. Oh, no. Okay. We just got hit by part of the spittle off target. Quite a bit, actually. So one of the things they did probably about 2 weeks ago, I want to say, 3 weeks ago, is they added outliers to the spittle from the Biotine where it'll shoot off target. However, the spittles, when they're off target, you could usually dodge them. It'd spittle like maybe 2 drops off target, and they'd usually hit you. Like they're like pre-guided for tick damage. However, that one just insta-killed me. It dropped me like to 95% of my HP once. Refreshing new threats, they're in Diff 9 too, yeah. Harder difficulty in general is good, regardless of what Reddit says. There's a thread bitching right now about no one asking for harder difficulty. I asked for harder difficulty. A lot of people ask for harder difficulty. It means the difficulty's not high enough if Reddit is complaining about not being able to do it, so. Alright, now let's go get my shit back. Or attempt to. Yeah, I mean, I like having a nice, hard contrast between my stream and what basically the majority of people are saying. Because it makes me feel different and unique, and I'm offering a perspective that you can't just find on Reddit, right? Well, regardless of, you know, Joel and Shams and Piltz all thinking that all my ideas come from Reddit, and I don't offer anything new or unique to the table. Like, there's legit a post on Reddit right now where Shams is talking about how there's some people that want things easier and some people want things harder, and there's a post that says, who asked for things to be harder? And I literally responded to it with, I did. And I'm sure it's going to get downvoted into oblivion, but there is definitely a case of Reddit trying to get everything fucking nerfed, which, once again, I think we're past the point where they can't make, we have to have more consistent difficulty, so you're getting kind of the same experience at your level that you're at, and they just need to go up. They can't... I originally was for the idea of just making it so, like, you know, 1 through 9 is the difficulties and just make them harder, but people can't do that. It makes them feel like they're going down. There's no progression if you're going down, right? What? No.
Reloading!
But, growing pains... If only they followed the BetterDivers guide sooner, right? Where the fuck's the Aardvark? Throw this way in there.
Sending in an eagle.
That looks good.
Here comes the cavalry.
There he is. Hey, bud. But also, according to Reddit, the 500 kgs suck, so... Oh, he just got exploded by his friend. Oh, poor guy. No, you bitch! I leapt away, guys. It wasn't enough. I saw that leg. I want my shit kicked. It's like fucking Dark Souls. I mentioned this before. You gotta compare this game to Dark Souls. The developers should be saying this is supposed to be difficult like Dark Souls at the highest levels. There's now 9 other answers to this game being too hard that isn't nerfing the game. It is play at a lower difficulty.
Marking location. West.
Sweet liberty, my arm!
Yeah, we had a guy in here a couple weeks ago that said the 500 kg radius is the same size as the precision strike with the 10%. It's not. We actually went and tested that. It's 12 meters for the precision strike, and it's 22 for the 500 kg. It's like
Calling in reinforcements.
the 500 kg can also be used as kind of like mediocre crowd clear, right? But you aren't using it just for crowd clear, right? It has options. The downside of the 500 kg is obvious. The radius is smaller, and you actually have to kind of look at line of sight, right? I don't know. Well, it's like you have to land on the brain to do that, which obviously isn't realistic. But it's basically just one shot. You shoot them, and then you hit them with a quasar, and they're dead, right? I think that's super far-fetched. By the way, guys, the Mega Nest has 2 kills on me, so... Yeah. The most Vile Titans I've killed with the 500 kg is 5. You know how many Vile Titans I've killed with the Precision Strike? 1.
Live structure destroyed.
1. That's it. 1. You got backup for skill issues. Yeah, kind of weird how that works, isn't it?
Sending in an eagle!
No! I might be dead. Oh, okay.
Orbital inbound.
Cluster bombs are OP as shit. I used to use napalm. I used...
Reinforcing!
Used to use napalm. I used to use... We might actually have to go do the main objective because we're running out of lives here, and I can't experiment with the large nest. We're going to go grab my shit, and we're going to go do the main objective so we don't run out of lives and die. Hopefully. Yeah, and lo and behold, you could actually do team shit if things get too difficult, right? That's why I said they just needed 30 difficulty levels and people wouldn't be complaining. They just can't do them, right? But there's one difficulty level, and then people feel as though that one difference is it means nothing, right? And then they think they can do it too. And then they lower the difficulty at Diff 9, which then just makes it feel like Diff 7, which, then makes people think that all of a sudden the game's, very doable, right? And you're like, I'm playing a game called Helldivers, right? I dive into hell. And instead, I'm literally rolling around on the ground and walking around collecting samples, and it's not really... I don't know. There's 2 months of that shit. It's fucking terrible. I haven't played enough of Diff 10 to know whether or not they fixed that. Diff 9 used to be extremely, extremely difficult at certain points.
Requesting air support.
Throughout the, basically, game. It's changed a lot over the months.
Sending in an eagle.
We're just gonna go help my teammates because we're out of lives now, guys.
On my position.
Can't experiment with this right now, so. Well, I mean, if they're doing like my games are really weird. One of the reasons I don't actually host my own games is because we get SEAL Team 6 that then just completes everything in 10 minutes and is really boring. So I join everyone else's games. Fuck that. The game's too easy, then it becomes boring. It's like literally the only thing that keeps me going in this game. It's not collecting samples. There's no grind. Although Reddit wants there to be grind. I typed it in wrong. Oh. If you type in the 500 kg wrong, or the cluster bomb wrong, it comes out as
Sending in an eagle!
500 kg.
Enemy patrol east.
Get some! Get some!
No, I know. Fuck off. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go away.
Tagging location.
Well, we're gonna get a. We are most definitely gonna get a bile tank out of this. Probably just leave.
Requesting orbital strike.
For prosperity!
Ammo though.
Sending in an eagle!
Keep liberty.
You will never destroy our way of life!
Eagle
Bile
One
tank.
returning to destroyer for resupply.
Let's go to the main objective. The actual butt plug, it is. Must be, there's the off targets, you see that? Got chip damage from the bile titan now? Well, it's been that way. I think this is more guaranteed than it was when I left. Do I? It's not. There is a poo-poo charger back there. Hence the shit cloud that's following me around right now. Stop it! No.
Calling down a support weapon.
Let's see. See the little off-target spittle?
Back in action.
Yeah, there's definitely a poo-poo cloud. It's like fucking Linus from Snoopy. Maybe I should nickname him Linus. This Linus is following me around right now. Ah, I could really use this. We're grabbing two. I'm gonna be a glutton.
Close. Calling in reinforcements. Requesting air
Fuck is that
support.
charger?
Requesting air support!
Oh, hey bud. No, no, that's not good.
Sending in an eagle!
Liberty emerges victorious yet again. Extract when ready.
Bug AI is still trying to figure out. Bug AI is definitely a little bit different. Like, there's less units, but they seem to be more lethal, so.
Fire in the hole! Have a taste of democracy!
Nope. I gotta get that off before fucking artillery lands around me and drops. Makes me drop my shit. Look, running from a fucking cluster bomb. I do like the single taps. The single tap boops that come out of the AR dog. That's pretty... Like, I've never spent any amount of time actually playing with the AR dog because it sucked for so long. And arguably, I'd still say the laser dog might be better than it.
Location.
But occasionally you'll see, like, the one-shot taps that come out of it that just finishes off like a hunter or something. Makes you feel good about it. I mean, I'm not against doing the super nest. I have a strong, sneaky suspicion we aren't going to be able to, we may just die horribly at the mega nest, but, you know, I'll believe in these guys. Well, pathing seems to be slightly different. You saw the charger was still chasing me, but everything else stopped chasing me.
Reinforcements. lead. Northwest, 100 meters.
Yeah. Save my 500 kg if I can.
Calling down
Get a little side spittles. There we go. Oh. Have you seen the egg yet? Yeah, I had it last game, but there's someone that's cheating the last game with me. That was just killing me randomly. And when I was dropping, not randomly, it was when I was dropping cluster bombs, he's trying to pretend that it was cluster bombs that are killing me. Which is, annoying. It's probably Joel blowing off steam again. Oh, he found the egg. I said I wanted to fucking grab it, and I wanted to grab it and raise it as a pet. We're gonna have beetles on our ship. Raise them as pet beetles. You know, who wants to have a dog? There's all different sorts of cosmetic shit, you know, regardless of the game balance. I mentioned this before. Regardless of game balance, there's all sorts of cosmetic shit they can do with this game to either make money or just make it better. You could do either or. You know, you could potentially make money and make it better. But there's all different sorts of things that you could do. And the super credits are so common, like, just... Ow. That you legit, like, there should be more stuff to spend them on. I don't know. I guess if there aren't enough Swedish developers, just fucking hire out to Korea or something. I don't know. At this point, you should be milking the shit out of that. People love their cosmetics. People want to pay for cosmetics. There's nothing wrong with that.
T-minus 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Sending in an eagle.
Yeah. That was a meme on my stream. That was a meme on my stream before that video ever came out. I hope you guys know. I hope you guys know that was a meme on my stream well before that ever turning into a video. Joel even fucking tried to gaslight me. 1 second, I have to captcha solve on TikTok now. That was a meme on my stream before that ever turned into a video. And Joel tried to gaslight me because in the video, it shows the Discord message. Like, the Discord message was from March. If this was done in March, they would have released it for April Fools. You can't fool me, Joel. You can't fool me. He's trying to gaslight me. Yeah. I mean, there's that game mode where we haven't played the larva game mode yet.
Requesting air support.
A2 shouldn't come through the front.
ETA T-minus 20 seconds.
Ah, there's an aardvark.
Mag's empty.
Where the fuck's the aardvark, guys? There he is. Hey, bud, that's for you.
Sending in an eagle.
ETA T-minus 10 seconds.
Oh my god, the one fucking mesa on the map.
Requesting air support.
It hit the one goddamn mesa. Ooh.
Pelican 1 arriving at coordinates. Requesting air support.
Sending in an
Get far enough to the side.
fired.
Gotta fix this Liberty-forsaken arm. Calling in reinforcements.
That's not good.
Eagle 1 withdrawing to rearm.
I mean, I don't think we're gonna wait around for this other guy.
Reinforcements on the way.
We have all the samples? Yeah, we do. Alright.
Objective located. Countdown initiated. Stand by for takeoff.
Get the egg? Did you get the egg?
Complete. Pelican 1 beginning ascent.
Community service, that's what it's turning into. You have to show all those guys on Reddit. I still remember when Meridia came out and everyone was complaining how they couldn't do it on Reddit, and we did it in the third try without basically going in blind, which is hilarious. And just people complaining and crying on Reddit that there's no way that they can actually finish the Meridia mission. It's so OP, they even play test it, and you're just like you basically complete the mission, and then all the birds, which I'm pretty sure were intentional, all the strikes pop out, right? But you could still survive that, it just was unlikely, but you still beat the mission, even if you don't extract. You don't need extract to beat the mission, right? Yeah. Crazy. Collect the egg. Take the egg home, yeah. Holy shit, guys, we started way too late. Way too late, guys. Started after midnight, so this is going to be a short stream. Unfortunately, I have to adhere to 4 a.m. quit time, so I don't want to slip back into the early morning hours. That's like, that's beyond degenerate. That's like when you start like breaking down as a person. Did he give us more time for higher levels into super high bases? No. I think having a time limit is important to figuring out what you want to do in the game and prioritizing different aspects of the game itself. And at the end of the day, 100% clears should be more rare than they currently are, and the fact that they are so common, as well as escaping with all your lives. Like, we didn't finish the Mega Nest just now. Escaping with a lot of lives is probably a good sign that the difficulty's not too high. Most people don't want to die, and most people want a full map clear, so they kind of go hand in hand. Even if you don't believe me that the game's too easy on Diff 9, prior to the patch on Tuesday, almost all missions, well, up until recently, almost all missions you just escape with, like, maybe missing, like, 3 or 5 lives. Like, that's absurd for the hardest difficulty in the game, with the full map clear. It never used to be that way when the game first came out. Obviously, people got better, and they learned which weapons to use and whatnot. However, that still seems exceedingly just wrong. Obviously, I'm very experienced, and that's going to skew things, you know, being in the top percentile or even the top percent of a percentile. However, I think when the difficulty is too low, you can see basically a correlation between lives and map clear being a good indicator of how easy it is. And we talked before at the beginning of the stream, guys, we talked about essentially how they need to collect more stats if they aren't doing it right now. And they need to parse it better based on, like, the top percentage of skill level, which is basically difficulty level, right? So what people are doing at Diff 8 and Diff 9, Sham said that there's 30% of the player base was using Incendiary Breaker, but the lower, like, below Diff 7 doesn't even matter. They're just walking around using railguns and occasionally killing a Hulk and bots, you know. It doesn't matter what they're doing for the most part. They're, if they think they're doing it's too easy, they'll turn up the difficulty, right? Most people don't play on lower difficulties than they feel comfortable for the most part. Or higher difficulties. But, actually, no, I take that back. People oftentimes play at much higher difficulties than they're accustomed to. And then go and complain when it doesn't work out. But there's ways to address that, but gathering stats is very important if they don't have a playtest. Like I mentioned, like, months ago, like 2 mega patches ago, they should legit have playtesters that just play the game. Like, I can't imagine it being that hard to find Swedish gamers that can play on Diff 9 that just playtest for you, right? Good evening, Unlocking. I can't imagine it being that difficult. It's just, it almost feels like they don't have a playtest team, like a QA team, that not only playtest stuff to make sure it's working properly, but at the same time also, you know, checks for bugs, like bug finding and QA testing in general. It kind of seems like they don't have one, though. Like, just their developers do QA testing. And like I said, I can't imagine it being that hard finding, like, you know, like some fresh kid out of high school that wants to get an entry-level job at a game studio. They have them in the U.S., you know, you don't need to hire, like, a top-tier programmer to do it. Or guys that go hell diving and have to do some solo time and group time and kind of try out the different aspects of the game and give feedback on it. While you can figure that out from the community, there's obviously limitations, especially considering where your source is. I like to say that I'm not very biased, and I tend to be very objective and critical, as well as logical with the stuff that I talk about, hence why in the BetterDivers guide, there's basically entire paragraphs written on rationale why I just, like, what kind of change I'm looking for and why. Because I think it actually matters a lot, right? But I don't know, like, Reddit is definitely not a good repository of, like, especially for this game now. I don't know what happened after the Sony controversy, guys. Everything just went to shit. Like, everyone on the community, like the Reddit community, just turned into whiny little bitches. It's just attracted a bunch of people that are, like, codependent. It almost feels like they're codependent. Just constantly just trying to fuck your emotions at the same time and just use you. I don't even fucking know what that means. Okay. Unfortunately, guys, we started too late tonight, and as such, only get a couple Helldives in here, but I wanted to do a couple. We added to the BetterDivers guide tonight, guys. We added an entry for stat collection, mainly for, well, it does matter for dev stats, too. Dev stats for sure matter. Mainly added an entry for player stats, specifically at the end game stats, and readjusting the ones that are there, removing some of them or hiding them behind a more category. But definitely just straight up readjusting a lot of the end game stats, which allow you to better parse the data that is currently, like, parse your performance, not the data, parse the performance of the Helldive, and of course your teammates as well. And which there's multiple different things, just like kills already exist, medium kills, large kills, total damage done, primary damage done, objectives attended, objectives soloed, samples collected, mission times, and then of course there's some also extra extra expanded stats that they could add to, like resupplies used, ammo kits. A lot of the ones that are currently there would be depreciated, including samples extracted, even though you can make an argument for that, which we do down here, and talk about why it actually matters when you collect them versus extracting with them, because basically everyone's going to want to extract with them. So it's not really a problem as much as seeing work that's done, which is people picking up samples on map. Mission time, so you can figure out the basically per minute, because not everyone joins at the beginning, right? There's a lot of interesting things in here, and stuff that is already in the game. Some of this is actually just important, but most of the stats are not. Most of the stats don't tell you anything. So people can better figure out what exactly is helping and what's not helping, like with, let's say, what primary weapon they're using, so they don't think because they get a kill streak with the Incendiary Breaker, they're doing a shitload of damage, because they might not be. They might just be getting last hits, which is also why we talked about this. We talked about the Incendiary Breaker fallout as well as the Flamethrower fallout, and specifically the Incendiary Breaker, because I don't think the Flamethrower, even though it's a change, I don't think that many people are bent out of shape about it as much as the Incendiary Breaker, because everyone is fucking using it. It's like when they nerfed the Eruptor, and there's a small contingency of Eruptor fans that just literally won't let it go. But anyways, we're going to call things here for this evening, guys. Tonight will be more of Helldivers 2, so you guys have that to look forward to or not to look forward to, depending on your preferences. I don't care. Hopefully I will be on earlier, though, guys. If you are new to the stream, you enjoyed the bullshit, you enjoyed the fun, you enjoyed watching me run around, make sure to hit the follow button on your select platform and type paragraphs. I stream to Kick, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Trovo, as well as TikTok every day from late night to early morning, GMT-6, so late night North America time. I usually stream for about 5 to 6 hours, give or take. Depends on what's going on in my life, what's happening, etc., etc., guys. We're going to call things here for this evening. Tonight should be more of Helldivers 2. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching my streams as always, and I hope you guys have a wonderfully fantastic Wednesday night and Thursday morning. Have a good day, guys.